Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
All right, let's try this Google Hangout thing. I'm gonna send you an invite
All right.
in
And Skype, I'm sure.
in Skype. I'm going to copy paste it. If you click it, you should be able to join this thing.
All right.
And I'm gonna mute the Google Hangout, and we're gonna use Skype for audio. As weird as that sounds.
All right.
So let me know if you are in there, then I will try to screen share.
Uh. Yep, I'm here.
Nice. I don't
Fantastic.
I don't see you, but I guess you're there.
Wait. Wait. Do I have to click join hangout? It says you're in the call.
Yeah. Join the Hangout.
There's a little button at the top, and it looked like there was no reason for that.
Ah, there we go. And I hear the audio doubled. So mute the Hangout. I'm screen sharing with you. Can you see my screen?
I see your screen.
Nice.
Oop, there it is. Now I muted it.
All right,
Fantastic.
cool. So when I've done this, the screen share has never crashed. So saying that, I'm sure it'll crash like at least 9 times. But hopefully that's not the case. So all right, man. We already did a lesson, right?
Yeah, one lesson before with Sheko.
What I tell you to work on, and what do you want to go over tonight?
Okay, you told me to work on. You did give me a little bit of homework for the working with the minimap. You told me to get timestamps on.
Good. Timestamps make the mini map bigger. I remember that for sure. Did you do that?
I did.
Has it been helping a little?
Well, the minimap was ready at full percentage. I
Good.
look at
Okay.
it. It did look smaller in the video, but it was full. The
Hey.
timestamps help a lot because I was able to actually get towers like that, and that was great. I just love it because I knew they couldn't teleport for like another minute, so that was great.
It's so good, right?
It feels like
You're
they're
like,
so helpless.
oh, they don't have a flash for 3 minutes, and I know this because I literally have it timed. It's so easy, and nobody does this shit. So, like, if you're doing that, you're better than already like 95% of the player base, and it's all
Feels
just by
so good.
turning a thing on. Okay, good. What else? I think I had a drill for you. Did you do it?
Try to get towers by 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
it's been kind of inconsistent. I've either been getting them like at 7 minutes, or I've been getting them at like, well, okay, the first
Nice.
few games I was getting them all around like 11 minutes, like 10, 11, like consistently, and then eventually I was falling behind on that. Like I would go and I would just try to gank, and then it would fail, and then I'd be like stuck to farming. I'm not sure if there's like a better decision I could have made, like go
We-
this place, go that place, but
We can
often-
talk about that. I mean, if you want.
that can be a thing because I don't mean to like set up the whole situation for failure, but often it is where mid lane's like kind of in the middle and then their mid lane's playing safe, so I can't just like dive the turret. And top lane's pushed up a bit, bot lane's pushed up a bit, and I feel like there's not a lot that I can do from there. But Sheko can still gank a push lane because it's his Q, but it still seems a lot more difficult.
Yeah, like you probably don't want to force anything with him. I mean, another way to think about it, you're playing Shaco, right? You're pretty good at 1v1ing people early in the game, right?
Mhm.
If the laners are all pushed up, who else is an option to gank?
Jungler?
Yeah, but go screw with the
Cool.
jungler. If the laners are all pushed up, what can the jungler do?
Gank.
He can gank any lane, right? So can he gank if you're like literally killing him in his own jungle?
You cannot.
So I mean, like you have more options than just gank a lane too, especially when you're playing a scary champion that's really hard to kill and has a lot of damage early game, right? So I don't know. We can talk about that as well. Do you have videos or anything you want to go over? I can look at our lesson too and see.
I actually didn't get a video this time. I was trying
Oh,
to
that's
record
fine.
games, but I would not get jungle for the life of me.
Oh, that's
And
the
one
worst.
Time the one time I did, they banned Sheko. My own team did, so that's great. And yeah, I even intent picked him, but I don't know. That was so unlucky. I tried to record one yesterday, but I could not get it.
Hey, no worries. What are you queuing as?
Queuing,
Yeah, like
Oh.
like jungle mid, jungle support, jungle top,
jungle top.
jungle top.
Recently, I've actually been picking up Aurelia, so I've been kind of like flip flopping those sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed that you had quite a few games on her. That's fine if you like playing top lane. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it'll be good for split pushing with Shaco. Like the same kind of mechanics work with her, right? The same kind of decision making. And yeah, I think she's pretty strong right now. There's not a lot of people that can deal with her.
I've
Do you,
been, like, go on.
do you watch Irelia carries you at all?
Yeah, I've been like looking up a bunch of Aurelia stuff. He was really popular on that.
He is very good. I highly recommend if you're learning this champion, watch his stream. He answers questions too, although he'll troll you a little when he answers them, but he will answer them. But a very strong player if you want to learn her.
Mhm.
All right, so let's go back to this. So it sounds like the tower thing has been good. You've been forcing objectives. That one game we watched, it was like 30 minutes before you took a tower. I might be exaggerating a little, but it was a long time. So it's good that you're taking them by 7 minutes now. Well, what do you want to work on tonight? Right now I have decision making, when to do what. And we can definitely talk about that, but what do you want to get out of this, man? This is your lesson.
Also, expanding the champion pool a bit because I want to be able to have AP jungler, AV jungler, tanky jungler, assassin jungler. I want to be able to have a good like pick because
Cool.
even though I can perform decently at Shaco at least, it doesn't work well with my team because I know my team just loves to like fight, and if I'm playing a Mumu, that's perfect for them because I can just ult everybody. But if I'm playing Shaco and then they want to fight, I'm not gonna help them because it's not gonna work well unless I'm really ahead or they're really ahead.
Yeah, like the games like rock paper scissors, and if you're picking Shaco every game and the enemy team is picking, like Shaco's like scissors, let's say, and if the enemy team is picking rocks over and over, it's like, your teammates are gonna get tilted and then ban your champion from you, and that's no fun. So yeah, we can definitely work on that. That's pretty easy. Now we'll start with that. What else aside from that?
A little bit more decision making. And
But
that's pretty
what
much
kind of decision making? I already have that written down. Like here's what my list of what to go over, and I mean we can talk about this for an hour if you want, man. That's an easy lesson for me. I just want to make sure you're getting the most out of it.
because I mean decision making seems like a simple thing when it's just okay, mid lane's even, let's go gank it because it's so easy to gank a lane that early game because they have no ping wards usually. So usually that's like the first thing I do. Second, I'll go to the blue, and if I see the enemy jungler running away and they warded it, and then I'm really lost on what to do because I can't take their blue because I know I'm there, and the bot lane's gonna come and kill me, so I just run. And then if bot lane knows where I am and mid lane knows where I am, I feel entirely lost of what to do. Stuff like that.
So early game strats, and you're talking like first 3 minutes, something like that, right?
Yeah, because usually I'll just go like one buff and then straight to the next buff, and if they ward it, I don't know what to do. Or if I should just not do that and just bait their second buff, because that's easier kill.
Yeah, Shaco has the same problem that Blitzcrank does. Like when you see a Blitzcrank on the enemy team, what's he gonna do?
He's gonna pull you level 1, 2, 3 real fast all the time.
Yeah, what is he gonna do? Level 1 probably.
Invade.
He's gonna invade. Which way is he gonna invade? Probably.
Usually I would guess that he's invading red side because he has one early ganks.
Well, it depends what side of the map he's on, but if you look at like the league planner and stuff like that, here I got RiftKit up, right?
Actually, your video doesn't look like it's showing. It's a black screen.
What? Google Hangouts broke?
It looks like a black screen.
Wait, seriously?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. I'm gonna re-screen share. And I'm so sad if this is a thing. All right, is it working again? Can you see stuff?
It's just a black screen. I'm not sure why this is happening.
All right, that's weird. It's not working like that for me. It's saying I'm not dropping any frames or anything. Let's try Skype screen share. We got options.
All right.
But that is the first time that has happened, and I'm sad. Fitzel, we just started, man. No worries. All right, can you see the screen share via the Skype Arena?
Yep, perfectly.
All right, cool. So let's say Blitzcrank is orange side. What's he probably going to do level 1?
Probably just go invade my red.
Yeah, he's going to be like boop, 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 or something like that. Or he could do the opposite. He can come through and he's going to bring all of his friends. So because of that, what do most players do when they're on the other team?
They might just start blue.
They might start blue. They might ward. What people do in Diamond, like I had a Blitzcrank the other day who walked into the enemy jungle. He was all by himself, and the enemy jungle looked kind of like this. And he was a little bit ahead of his team. Guess what happened to him?
Death.
Yeah, he was the first blood, and he blew flash in both his summoners, and it was sad and funny at the same time. So what happens with Shaco is the same kind of thing. These patterns become predictable. Like, sure, when the champion just came out, maybe people don't know what he does. Maybe people don't know that he's going to invade every time because it's really smart. So you can't really do the same thing. Because when I see a Shaco, like the first thing I do on jungle is I figure out where he's starting and I invade to pop his boxes. Which I'm sure you know why that sucks, right?
Mm-hmm. You need to get really annoying leash because usually you start at a big buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll get a ward here, and I'll try to get my entire team to come in, and we'll go through here, and we'll like literally walk around on your camps to make sure you don't have boxes set up, because then your leash dies. You can't like solo a camp and be halfway to mine while your boxes are finishing off the camp. So if I do that, it slows you down. And also, if I know where you're starting, if I see, he's starting blue, he's probably going to try to cheese me at red. I start red instead of starting Crux. Or like you said, I'll start top side instead of here and just avoid you. And maybe I'll have someone ward my red, and if I see you go to my red, then I'm just like, okay, whatever. I go take your red.
That's happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's happened because people have figured out what Shaco does because he's just an old champ, and these old Shaco tricks that used to be amazing when the player base had no idea what was going on are now just like, oh, he's gonna do that. I've seen this 1,000 times. I know exactly what to do. So I would say mix it up. Don't do the same thing every time, and we can talk about that for sure. All right, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm already talking about this, and we haven't even finished our list of what to talk about. So what else?
All right. Trying to think specifically. I don't really know much. I mean, expanding the champion pool, of course.
And we can talk about strats and what the different champions in your champion pool want to do. Maybe specialize a little. Would that be interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. For each champ. All right. So here, let's start there. You ready to get going then?
Yeah.
So what's your champ pool right now? And are we worried about jungle, top lane, both? Like, what are we doing?
Maybe we can do top lane after jungle, but right now I want to start with jungle. Let me just check out because I can't remember off the top of my head.
See, that's bad. If you don't know what you play.
I don't know. It's like if I look at the champion thing, I go, oh yeah, that'll work well. Oh yeah, that'll work. And then I just try to think in my head. I'm like, well, I'm just going to do the really obvious ones. I mean, you can do Jax and Shaco.
Oh, what I am asking right now is, who do you feel comfortable playing? Like if I put a gun to your head and I'm like, all right, you got to win this game, otherwise, this gun's gonna be empty, and your head's gonna be in between, the bullets and the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, who are you playing? And if the answer is nobody, that's fine. All right, who though?
Let's see. Definitely a Mumu. I can definitely play a Mumu.
All right, who else? Shaco?
Definitely Shaco. Jax I can play very well.
Cool.
Malphite. And beyond that, I can do Rammus, but Rammus is my worst. Not my worst, but like my worst comfort pick because I can play him, but
Got it. He's one of my favorites, so I can help you out with him if you want. But he is really strong in very specific situations. Like, I usually pocket pick him. When Kindred was really strong, like Rammus just shits on her, So there's a bunch of little things you can do, but that's fine. So we can work with this. So right now, have you ever watched a lesson where I've done somebody's champ pool for them before?
There was one, but we did tank. You did not tank, and that's what I was looking at before, and that's where I was kind of inspired to ask you about it. But
right,
I don't remember much from it.
So I'm gonna split it up like this: physical and magical. All right, that is my first breakout. All right, and I'm talking about the kind of damage they do. So what's a Mumu? Physical or magical?
Definitely magical.
Definitely magical. Okay, what's Shaco? Physical or magical?
Physical. Well, it can go both, but usually physical.
He can go both, but he's better physical, right? So let's say physical. What about Jax? Physical or magical?
Physical. Doesn't he do a little bit of magic?
Yeah, he's like a hybrid. He's weird. He's kind of like Kale. He can do both. You can build AP Jax if you really want to, but he's better physical in my opinion. Jax is another one of those guys that I have mastered. So I'm not telling you bullshit. So let's call him physical. What about Malphite? Physical or magical?
He does magic.
Yeah, for the most part. What about Rammus? Physical or magical?
Magic.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, because I usually don't build much damage on him because
he's weird. You stack armor and health on him, and then it makes his W do magic damage. His ult does magic damage. His Q does magic damage, right? His taunt just makes you hit him so that his W does magic damage. So he is still a magic damage dealer. He does have auto attacks, so do all these guys, but he is mostly magic damage. And if you're not sure, play a game with one of these guys and look at your stats afterwards. You can see how much magic damage you did. You can see how much physical damage you did. If it's 50-50, you're a hybrid. If one's bigger than the other, that's probably how you play them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Oh no, they have school in the chat. That's weird. Nopples is saying AP Shaco's pretty good. Kind of, but it depends how you play him, Nopples. There's a streamer named Pinkward. Used to be Challenger, only Shaco, only AP Shaco, and he rage quit the game because he can't win anymore of AP Shaco. So, I mean, if you want to play him that way, that's on you, man. But it's not as strong as physical right now, I would argue. Okay, so going back to you, my friend. By the way, what do you want me to call you? Like Travis?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, Travis. Apologies. Yeah. So Travis, what I want to break up further now is, okay, here's magical. That's one hierarchy. So let's just put little marks next to it so we know. If I want to break stuff out further, I want tank, and then I want damage. So,
do you have any magical damage then, or any tank physical?
Yeah, like I would say that too. And you could argue that a Mumu does as magic damage because you can build him straight AP. I had a student a while ago that does that. But yeah, you're saying Shaco and Jax probably in the damage category, right?
Yep.
These guys, I would argue, are best played in the tank role. You can go Glass Cannon Amumu. You can go Glass Cannon Malphite. You can go Glass Cannon Rammus. And when you powerball into someone, it does hurt quite a bit. But it's not as good as the way they're supposed to be played. So let's focus on how they're like supposed to be played, not their goofy off builds that are not quite as optimal. Let's just call it that, okay? So this is the next way I like to break it down. So magical physical, that's the first part. Good, you have options here, you have options here. But like if you needed to play a physical tank, like if your team picked, Gangplank top. Oh wait, time out. No, let's do this. So your team picked like Diana top, who is kind of tanky, or maybe better example, Veigar top, Annie mid. And your AD carry is a Corki. Support is a Sona. If you play Shaco, what's going to happen?
You're going into deleted. Everybody's going into deleted.
Yeah, because they're all too squishy, right? And they can build tanky, they can get Rod of Ages and stuff, but it's not going to be as good as if you had a frontline peeling for them. So you're going to need something there. Here, let's just look at the champions. Do you want to learn or play anybody specific? Because that's a good place to start.
Specifically, I'm just nobody specific. I just want to get a good champion pool that I can actually work with.
All right, physical tanks. One sec, my pig is eating one of my t-shirts. I'm gonna go tell him not to do that. Charmander, quit!
Charmander.
I love you, but quit.
Ooh.
I like that t-shirt. All right, so what I would recommend is probably like a Volibear, a Rek'Sai, a Hecarim. Scion Jungle actually isn't that bad if you need an AD tank. Trundle, Wukong can kind of be played tanky. Pantheon can be built like CDR tank. You have a bunch of options. Those are the stronger ones right now. Skarner does a little bit of AD damage, and he's like pretty impossible to kill. He's pretty good. I would say Udyr, but that's like a weird champion to play. Like he's kind of situational like Shaco, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do any of those like pique your interest?
Yeah, I was thinking about, you said Hecarim and Volibear? Those are the two I was looking at.
Volibear, I would argue, is one of the strongest champions in the game right now. He's a top-tier jungler. Just because
Really?
early game, he has no answers. Like, if he wants to fight you, there's nothing you can do about it except walk away. And if someone knows how to beat a Volibear early, let me know, because I haven't figured it out yet. But Volibear, very, very strong right now. Do you know why I say that?
Not necessarily. No, I know his passive makes him very hard to kill.
His passive makes him very hard to kill. Early game, people literally don't have enough damage to get through all of his health before he kills you.
Mm-hmm.
So you could beat him by kiting, but like by then he's probably taken whatever he's trying to take, or he's forced you out of lane, or he's either murdered you, something like that, right?
I have a question about his passive. Does it like keep going up, like his health when it's low, or does it eventually like cap out and just stop regenerating? Really fast?
The way it works, when he gets down to like a third of his max health, he regenerates for a third of his max health. It's like 30% or something.
And then that just stops, and then it has like regen on it, or does it just
it has a cooldown, so you can play around that cooldown. But if he's smart, he's not going to go fight you when it's down, right? So check this out. Chosen of the Storm. Volibear periodically regenerates 30% max health over 6 seconds when below 30% max health, and it has like a 2-minute cooldown. And I believe, okay, this is static, so you can't decrease it with cooldown reduction. But like every 2 minutes, you can just tower dive. It's bullshit. I have a highlight on my YouTube channel. I hadn't played Volibear in like 3 months. I just walk into the enemy jungle and like kill 4 of them with my team, and there's nothing they can do about it. Like it's complete bullshit right now. This champion is insanely strong. He falls off late game when people get items and like percent health damage and stuff. But early game, there's not much you can do about him except run away. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons I'm recommending it. Maybe something like an Elise can kind of deal with him, because if he's running at you, you can like cocoon. But like if you go to actually fight him after the cocoon, he's just going to eat you, because he's a bear.
Yes.
So I would recommend picking up Volibear. He's not that hard to play. He has some mechanical stuff. Like he has a lot of auto attack resets in his kit, and there's a bunch of goofy like flash EQ plays you can do. And you also have to know when to use his execute damage, because it does more damage the smaller their health bar is, the remaining health. So there's definitely some stuff to learn, but it's not that hard to run at people and auto attack them, So definitely Volibear, he's pretty easy to pick up. He's one of those easy to learn, hard to master champs, but very strong right now. So even if you're you're like not that great with him, you'll still be able to carry. Who else? You're quiet, by the way. Interrupt me. Hecarim is really, really strong right now. Same kind of reason Volibear is really, really strong. He has healing built into his kit. He has a lot of damage. Also, the ghost changes really helped him out. Now it's on a lower cooldown, makes him go faster. Remember, the speed makes him do more damage. He's been banned a lot in my games, so I want to recommend him, but I don't know if he's banned like in your MMR or not.
My games, everybody's crying about Darius and just easy to play champs.
Oh, that's adorable. Okay, yeah, play Hecarim and shit on them then.
Like Darius, Jax, and Shaco, because nobody likes Shaco. And just whatever someone thinks that someone's OP when they're really just completely normal. Like, I've had a lot of just Caitlyn bans, Tristana bans. Like, they don't even know what they're banning, I'm pretty sure. They just say, you suck, ban it.
Play Hecarim then. Enjoy it. Play the hair cream. He's strong right now. I would learn these two, and that's fine. Rek'Sai is really, really good because she can split push and be tanky because of the way her ult works. But she did just get nerfed a little. Stormfox Foo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, man. So she's not as strong as she was, and Riot just nerfed her again in the patch that's about to hit. She has like even less armor. She's like even less tanky. So that's kind of like I would recommend playing her, but like she's getting nerfed a whole bunch. So
her choose really used to play because of the presence.
Yeah, she can be everywhere on the map, but like if you gank at the wrong time, especially after the nerfs, you can actually die now. Like she's not immortal with her passive.
What did the nerf do?
It took away some of her armor here. I mean, I'm just talking about the patch notes, right? So what is it? 6.18 patch notes. They were just released today, so if you guys haven't read them yet, nothing too crazy because this is like the world's patch, but you know, so Yorick is changing. Where's Rek'Sai? Probably in the R. You know, her base armor went down 4. Her armor growth stat went down, you know, went up a little. No, it went down a little. I'm sorry. So she's going to have a little bit less armor early, and every level she gets, she'll get a little less armor. It doesn't seem like a lot, but she's going to be a little less healthy coming out of the jungle to gank. You know, and she'll take a little more damage from minions, and she'll take a little more damage from champions, and all that will add up and mean like she won't be able to walk away with like a sliver of health and regen and then ult back into a fight like she used to, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right.
For sure. The real Nick PvP, what's up, man? I don't know if you want to fight me. Plus, I need a good reason to, man. Just because you want to doesn't mean I'm going to. Something like that. What about Nid for low ELO? Well, we're talking about tanky physical damage dealer, Stormfox Foo. So right now, Nidalee is like the opposite of that. So it's not a good pick at the moment. But that's fine. You came to the stream a little bit late. So Rek'Sai, going back to you, Travis, I would recommend as like a possible tank jungler, just because she like Volibear can be all over the map, but he's doing it by like running. Hecarim, same kind of thing. He's running all over the map. His movement speed's so high. Rek'Sai is all over the map because of the tunnel network she can set up and the fact that she can teleport across the map. Like Hecarim can't go bot when Baron's up late game. Rek'Sai can. You know what I mean? So they can do different things while still fulfilling that tank role. Kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
Someone's recommending Dr. Mundo, too. Actually, Mundo might be a good Volibear counter, now that I think about it, because his cleaver does % health damage and slows. That'd actually be pretty good for fighting a Volibear. But I haven't seen a Mundo in forever, and his E has been bugged, meaning, like, if you use it, it normally takes a whole bunch of health, like, the first time you use it. Right now, every auto attack, it takes health. So he just gets so low in the jungle, you can't even clear because of that. Or you just don't level E, but that's weird. So he's good, but Riot needs to fix him first. I think right now Volibear and Hecarim are great champs to learn for Travis, and I don't want to like overwhelm him. Like, are you fine with these two?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can build them differently. Like Hecarim's a Triforce jungler. You can build Triforce. You can build Runic Echoes on him. As weird as that sounds, he's an AD jungler, but he's mana hungry. He likes the movement speed, and he does have AP ratios, so the Runic Echoes is really good on him. You can build Warrior if you want. You can build Cinderhulk if you want. You got all these options, okay?
All right.
Volibear, he's pretty much a Cinderhulk jungler.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch the stream, you can build him kind of like a Mumu, only instead of Doran's rings and like a Liandry's or a Rylai's, you're building like a Titanic Hydra and then tank items. And I can walk you through builds and stuff too, but these guys are pretty good to learn for physical tanks. Cool?
Yeah.
All right, what about magical damage dealers? What are you thinking there? Do you have any favorites you want to try out?
Let me actually just see.
Yeah, pull it up and look. There's a bunch right now that are really, really strong. Like somebody in chat mentioned Nidalee. Nidalee, I want my cigar. He's like a D1 Graves one trick, or I guess he says he's like a 3 trick now because Graves keeps getting banned. But he showed me a video of Nidalee clearing her entire jungle by 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
I tried Nidalee jungle. I actually bought her 2 jungle, and the first game, I died on the second camp because I don't know how to clear with her, and I just never played her again.
Yeah,
I thought it was terrible.
So Nidalee is one of the highest mechanical skill cap champions in the game, in my opinion, just because she has all these abilities to juggle, and if you screw up something, you might run out of mana and just die to your camps, you know. She also has to land a bunch of skill shots. She has to plan really far ahead. Nidalee 314 clear. Let me see if I can find this. Here, and this is with no leash. This is just some guy doing it in a custom game. But check this shit out if you guys want to learn. I'll send you the link in Skype so you can check it out later if you, because she is insanely strong right now. I had no idea a champion could do this at this point. I learned something the other day. So check that out after the stream if you want. But insanely strong if you can pull this shit off. But it's gonna take me like a month to like learn how to pull that off, and I actually know what I'm doing in the jungle. So I don't know if you want to do that to yourself and you want to put the work in. She's very rewarding. Just because she can like do a full clear with like multiple ganks while the enemy jungler is still struggling to finish their full clear. So pretty interesting. But there are other champions too that are easier, you know, and so it all depends what you want to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you thinking AP wise?
I don't even know that many AP junglers that are squishy, like or not really squishy. But
I mean, if there's a tanky one that does damage, that's great too. Have you tried Evelynn?
I've played her in ARAM. That's it.
Evelynn is really, really strong right now. She got like a pretty big buff to her ultimate. It's just up so much because the cooldown's down. But she's like, you have to really know how to play the game to use her well. There's a couple Last Shadow coaching sessions where he's teaching like Diamond 2 players how to Eve, and it's pretty adorable watching them learn. He's like, just go do this, just go do that. He doesn't really explain why he's telling them to go do stuff because he's like live coaching them. But like if you just watch the video and you're like, okay, why is he telling them to do? Oh, I see, because they're pushed up and they don't have wards. You know, it's stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But Evelynn, very, very strong. Here, let me just put a list down and then we'll whittle it down based on who you want to actually play. Do you like Elise at all?
Well, I've actually considered picking her up because she was similar to Shaco.
Yeah, she's kind of similar, kind of different. She's like a duelist who can scale into a tank. She can go the glass cannon.
I heard she can counter jungle. I heard she was can do a high amount of damage. I heard
yeah,
she was slippery. And
she had solo dragon early. There's a lot of mechanical stuff with her. She's kind of like Nidalee because you're in 2 different forms, so you're juggling abilities between the 2 forms. Like I would actually need to practice her for like a week or 2 if I was going to play her in a game. Like I could just pick up a champion like Volibear and play right now. I'm fine. But Elise, like, oh god, like I need to practice my pathing to make sure my spiders are tanking optimally, because like your little spiderlings heal you and do extra damage if you leave them alive. There's like goofy rune pages you need for her. Like we were looking at a Challenger Elise player and he had like attack speed marks instead of the magic pin marks, even though she's AP, because it makes her spiderlings do more jungle damage, increases her clear speed. You know, there's a bunch of weird stuff with her. So I would pick her up, but she has a pretty big skill cap for learning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another one. Have you ever tried Karthus Jungle?
Never.
Not a troll pick. Very, very strong right now, actually. Nobody knows how to play against it. I'm going to recommend it. Try it out if you don't like it, because it's a very weird way to play. Just ignore me, and I guess just forget I ever said anything about it. But if you like it, there are quite a few people that are very good at Karthus Jungle, and it's so easy. You just permafarm, and anytime a fight is happening, you click R. It's not that hard to do, and you have insane objective control. Your team fighting's amazing. You just have so much damage. There are players like in Diamond right now that don't know what he does. Like I had a guy in my team playing against a Karthus that just sat in him after he died and just died. He's like, "What killed me?" You know, and it's like, you're a Diamond player. So that's the thing. Fiddlesticks might be a good one to learn. He's weird.
I've actually played him a bit.
But I'm just trying to give you a whole bunch of options right now. Zach is a tanky guy. We're trying to get damage. Right now, our friend Travis, he plays a Mumu, Malphite, and Rammus for the tanks. He's a very good Mumu player. We're trying to round out his jungle pool. So before, he played these guys. Everybody highlighted right here. So we tried to get him some physical tanks, and we're trying to get him some AP damage. So right now, I'm just giving him options, because he's like, I don't know who does AP damage. and we're going to whittle the list down. So thanks for the suggestion, stream. They're saying Zach, yeah, he does magic damage, but he's not who you pick if your team has a bunch of tanks and needs AP damage, Zach is more of like a tank killer. He's also good in engage and stuff. Zyra jungle is a thing, but that's like one of those weird pocket picks, and you have to have like 100 games on her before you can actually do it. Same thing with like Talia jungle and TF jungle and all that weird crap. I think these that we have are pretty good. So are any of these like looking exceptionally good to you?
I want to pick up Evelynn if I can at least, but sounds like it's pretty tough to play. If anything, I want to go Evelynn and Fiddlesticks. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Because Nidalee and Elise seem terribly hard to play.
They are very, very mechanical. Like if you put time into them, you will be rewarded, but they are very hard to play. With Evelynn, it's like, hey, how fast can I push Q? Did I engage at the right time? With Fiddlesticks, it's like, do I have my ult? All right, time to be behind a wall. And then they're dead. And you can solo dragon at like level 3. There's all this goofy stuff you can do with Fiddlesticks that's weird, okay? So I would recommend these guys. If you want to learn Evelynn, here, let me just send you... Have I ever sent you to Last Shadow?
No.
He is a challenger coach. He is very entertaining, in my opinion. He's kind of a douchebag. He's flaming gay. He just rages at people constantly. But he knows his shit. And, like, I've been subbed to his stream for, like, almost 2 years now. Like, so very good player, but kind of a jerk at the same time. So his personality is kind of something to get used to. But check him out. Maybe you'll like him. But here, watch this game. Watch it on double speed because it's on YouTube. That's pretty much how to Eve.
All right.
Fiddlesticks, I have not found a Fiddlesticks streamer one trick or anything, but he's pretty straightforward. You just build a whole bunch of AP, you get items like Abyssal Scepter and Zhonya's for defense, and then you just go in there and murder people. Rylai's is really good on him because of all his AoE. You're slowing people so they're stuck in your ult. Liandry's, if they're tanky, you can build Death Cap on him. Like, there aren't many AP junglers you can do that on effectively. He's weird. You just need enough health that they can't burst you down because your drain is gonna heal you right back up. But yeah, I think this is pretty good for a jungle pool. Do you agree?
Yep, looks good.
All right, cool. Here, let me copy pasta this into Skype. So I would definitely do that. Okay.
All right.
Oh, they're saying Fizz jungle. Fizz jungle could work. What do you think about Fizz jungle?
It could work, but I think it'd be a lot of champions.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Pick up.
And Fizz is actually pretty hard to play. There's a lot of weird mechanical stuff with him. These guys, not so much. Like Eve, it's like, did I use my E to reset my auto attack? All right, I did it. Did I use my W when they slowed me? Did I remember to ult first before I used my other ability? Eve is more like did I move around them in the proper order? Stuff like that. So it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I have any too mechanically complex champions, which is good.
That's
I think
very
Hecarim's
good.
A little bit mechanical with the jungle.
Not really. Hecarim's
He
like
had a spin of his axe, and that looked like every play that I watched playing Hecarim, I always had to like kite the monsters perfectly. And I don't know if that was like a key part of it, or they just kite because they feel like kiting.
They just kite because they feel like kiting. Your Q doesn't interrupt your auto attack, so you can just sit there, and once you get enough armor, you just face tank the jungle. And your W heals you. If you smite the red buff at the right time, it works. He's not that hard.
All right.
He's one of my most played, too. Like I climbed to Diamond with him Season 3. Like he's a lot of fun. He goes really fast. You can take over a game. He's really hard to kill. Has too much damage. Really strong right now just because of the itemization changes and the fact that the other top-tier junglers got nerfed a little. So definitely recommend these guys. Exec 4, in my opinion, any champ is playable and useful. You should know a champ that fit in your playstyle on your right path to climbing. I agree, man. But what we're trying to do here is he's already done that. He really likes these champions right here. He's trying to round out his jungle pool. Because let's say his team picks a whole bunch of physical tanks. They have like an Alawai top. They have a Scion mid. AD carries an Urgot. He's going to want some AP damage, so some magic damage, and he's going to want some actual damage so he can murder the enemy team before they kill his team, right? So we're trying to balance out his champ pool so he has stuff for every situation. Or maybe it's the opposite. He just got that Veigar top, that Ahri mid. It's like, well, shit, we need a tanky front line so that they don't just run on Veigar and murder him immediately. That's why we're suggesting these guys. So just trying to round it out, man.
I'm also thinking which one's the will be the safest pick because I know Amumu is considerably safe in low elo because no one likes to shut him down early.
Mhm.
Although I heard in higher elo, everybody tries to shut him down because
I've had
he's
no
skilled.
problem with him in high elo. Usually, what I'll do is like, oh, there's a Shaco on the other team. He's probably going to invade me. I'm just going to start my red buff. It's decisions like that.
Mhm.
And from there, it's just like, well, I'm 6. Now you can't fight me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's not that bad.
I mean,
But-
well, I've tried to look it up, and I said it, and I heard that someone said that scaling tanks are generally a cheese pick in higher elo because you're pretty much counting on the game going late and not getting shut down early.
Well, yeah, but people also play scaling tanks wrong. Like, there are challenger players right now that are still rushing Cinderhulk on tanks. First item. And if you watch the stream, you know why that's a horrible idea. It's not good until, like, a third item because you don't get... you pay like 2,600 gold for it, and you don't get enough combat stats out of it until you have 1,400 bonus health for it to break even. It's like a tank death cap. You never buy it first, right? But we have all these challenger players. They're saying, yeah, these scaling tank junglers, they aren't strong until later, and that's because they're buying the wrong items first. What's up?
We didn't sing happy birthday to Squirtle.
I said happy birthday to Squirtle. Guys, it's Squirtle, my pet pig's birthday. She's 6.
We didn't sing it
Happy
for
birthday.
My stream is singing right now.
Really? How you doing?
Yeah, well, that's because I have headphones and you can't hear. Thank you, Travis.
Yay.
But, I mean, we can sing to her later, maybe. I'll get her a birthday cake and a candle when I'm done coaching this guy, okay? Sorry, I thought that was an emergency, but it was. But I don't know, there's stuff like that going on, too. Ziki4, thanks for the follow, man! Welcome to the stream! But, like, Volibear, he's a tank, right? I would argue that he scales a little, maybe, but I could also argue that no champ in the game can 1v1 him early. Maybe a Mundo, but like it depends how you play him. Okay, so I think ignore that noise. That they're wrong. That's my too long didn't read counter argument. Okay.
All right.
Graham Ham, I'm sorry. No, that was just my wife. It's my piggy's birthday. Oh, and yay, everyone's saying happy birthday to the piggy. Good, good, good. All right, so what else, man? Like, are you good with this?
Yeah, the trip tool looks good.
All right, cool. And I copy pasted it into the Skype chat, so you don't have to remember that. Want to go through top lane real quick?
Sure, because my champ tool is pretty small right now for top lane.
What do you play? Irelia, it sounds like.
Definitely Aurelia. I'm picking her up, and I'm actually doing fairly well with her in a lot of the games, but few off games.
Who else?
Her and Rumble.
Rumble,
I'm-
nice.
I'm picking him up. I have not played. I play like I'm not even sure I played a game with him besides an ARAM. So I am just getting him. Besides that, I have Singed. I know I kit well. I don't know how to play him well. I also have Gameplay because I thought he was cool, but I never played him ever.
People are saying use Gnar. Gnar just got nerfed, guys. Read the patch notes. I don't know if you want to do that.
And Jax, of course, because
Yeah.
Jax.
So I'm sorry. Repeat that again. Irelia, Rumble, Jax. Who else?
Oh, actually, I have Mundo, Gangplank, Jax, Singed, and Irelia, and Rumble. But like 3 of these guys, I don't know how to play well.
Which 3?
Gangplank, I have no games on. Singed, I have no good experience. I play him lower elo, but like never like level 20s type of stuff. Mundo, I know his kit. I just don't know how to play him. Like I can play safe and farm. That's all I need to do. And Rumble, actually. Mundo's meh. I know his kit very well, but I don't have a lot of experience.
All right, let's do the same thing we did earlier. And normally top lane, what's your job top lane? Like jungle, your job is kind of to fill what your team needs and do stuff to help them win the game. What's your role top lane usually?
Generally, you want to be a tank or bruiser. So that's right.
You're generally a front line,
Yeah.
and maybe you fill in a little bit of damage if your team pick dumb picks, if you have that Zac mid or whatever.
Mhm.
But something like this is good. You could also be a split push menace. It depends like if you're a jungler, pick Shaco, right? You're probably not looking to
Actually,
team fight.
Tryndamere. I forgot to mention Tryndamere.
Ah, good. Tryndamere.
I'm good with Tryndamere. I forgot.
Very strong pick, especially down in low elo where people don't know how to rotate, don't play the macro game well.
Alright.
Real nasty. How about you shut up, man? Be nice to everybody. The build, I just linked a video. Look up Last Shadow Evelyn coaching, and he'll show you the build, okay, Tour? Don't need to be mean to them, guys. The one rule of chat. You be a dick to me, don't be a dick to each other. This is a learning stream. If they're asking questions, it's because they don't know, man. Don't be rude.
Tryndamere is just great because he doesn't require any like, mechanical skills, and it's just great. Like if you get 2 kills, the jungler is going to go off to camp you top, or you're going to get the tower really early.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
obviously, yes.
Like you can bring the entire team top, so like definitely a very strong pick. Okay, let's break them up into different categories, and that's fine, right? So physical, and then I want damage, and I want tank again. Okay, and then we're gonna do magical, and I want damage and tank. Okay, same kind of concept. And like you can also argue damage and split pushing, stuff like that, right? But
Alright.
whatever. Okay, so Irelia, where's she going?
She's a bit of a bruiser, but I'm going tank. Physical tank.
Okay, so she's kind of like a damage tank, you know, whatever. So I would argue more damage than whatever, but she's like a bruiser. You can build her here, you can build her here. Let's actually do both, okay?
Alright. Rumble would be magical. I'm actually not sure where he is between tank and damage. I think he does a bit of damage.
He does both actually, but that's the thing. Most of these guys are tanky and they do damage, you know. And Rumble is more like percent health damage because he'll buy like a Leandri's first item, you know. But here, let's actually do this. Let's just look at the champion's base kit, not like how you can build them, okay? Because you can build tank Tryndamere, right? And he can be tanky, but where would Tryndamere go? Probably.
Definitely damage physical.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what about Mundo?
Tank physical. Wait, no, is he physical? I think he's
He's
physical, right?
physical and magic. It depends how you play him. If you're poking with your cleaver, he's doing more magic damage. If you're getting in there and auto-attacking, he's more physical.
Alright.
But I would argue he's probably a tank magic, as weird as that sounds.
Alright. And Jax is a physical damage? Yeah.
Yeah. Singed, I would say magic tank, you know, so
Yes.
here's what we're missing. What would be an example of like a magical damage dealer that you can play top?
Echo.
Echo is a kind of a good example, though he got nerfed, you know.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so like this patch, you're right. Next patch, I don't know. I haven't seen him played yet. Rise would be like the one I was thinking of, right?
Oh, I have Rise.
Like he's one of the highest mechanical champions. You got to hit all the buttons in the right order. So stuff like that.
I haven't played him since the rework, though, so I don't know him very well.
Yeah, for sure. So like he might be fun to pick up just because you need something here. Like that's again if your team picks like Scion mid or something, which I've had in my Diamond games. But I'm looking at this. You don't really have any physical tanks top. I would argue these guys are mostly damage dealers, right? So maybe we pick a physical tank. And you can play Hecarim top too, by the way. So
I can play Malphite top too.
Hecarim, Malphite, where would he go?
You can go top. Actually, he's magical tank. My bad.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I guess that
But
works.
you can play him. I mean, if you're learning him in the jungle, you're learning him top. Might as well double down, right?
Yep.
But here, let's get a physical tank. We put Hecarim up there, but there's a bunch of people you can play. Like Trundle's pretty good in some matchups. He gets shit on in others. If you guys watched me play against that Darius the other day, that was not fun. Tom Kench is fun. He's more magical though. I really like Scion top lane as a tank. People will argue that he's not very strong, but like if you play him right, he's pretty strong. Like there are some matchups, like into a Darius, you level your Scream first, and you can do damage and farm with that. And there's nothing he can really do. Alawai would be a really good top lane tank. Darius would be a really good top lane tank. It's pretty easy to learn too. Renekton, he's kind of more tanky than damage, but he does damage. Shen.
Oh, I have Shen. I definitely have Shen. I forgot to mention. I do play Shen.
Shen just got nerfed, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like we could do it, but I don't know. Any of these guys speaking to you?
Alawi looks pretty good. Shen, I play. So.
Let's do this then, and I'm just putting Hecarim up there because we said we were going to pick him up in the jungle.
Hecarim, yeah.
You can do weird stuff like teleport Ignite Hecarim just because the way your E works, you can use it as an escape. No one can really catch you because you're so freaking fast. Or you can use your ult once you hit 6, but this is probably how I would break it down, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense? Cassiopeia, whatever she is. I don't know about that, man. She's an AP damage dealer, but she's not as good top. Reason being, if you look, the lane's super long, so if Cassiopeia pushes up, that's just a free gank for the jungler. You can play her. Just saying, like your map awareness and your positioning has to be perfect, and we're trying to teach Travis here something that is pretty easy to pick up, but can also carry. Like that's what I would recommend for anybody too, man. Like me, I try to play the champions that aren't super mechanical, so I can focus on map awareness and decision making and stuff like that. So again, like Alawai, not that mechanical. Hecarim, not that mechanical. Echo, pretty damn mechanical. Ryze, pretty damn mechanical. You know, so it's like, have you ever played Lissandra top?
No.
She's very safe. She's getting nerfed a little this patch too, but like you can still play her just fine. She's really strong into champions that are melee. Because if they run on you, you get a free stun. Your Q can kite them forever. You can choose to engage or disengage. If your E, your ultimate, you can use to blow somebody up. Or like what good Lissandra players do is they'll bind the self-alt to their T key right next to the R key on the keyboard. And then what happens is you jump in, blow your full combo, you're down to like half health, and then you self-alt and you heal. Like, so it's just really stupid, does a lot of damage, hard to deal with. But something like this would be pretty good. That makes sense. You play a lot of guys top, by the way. Or you're learning a lot of guys top.
Yeah, well, I'm learning a lot of guys because I bought them earlier time because I got like wrecked by Gangplank. Like, oh my god, Gangplank is so good, so I like went out and bought him.
He's pretty strong. He's pretty mechanical too. Like he got nerfed, but like you can still win with him. You just have to get to your power spikes. You have to get good doing the Phantom Barrel stuff. Do you know what the Phantom Barrel is?
Is that the barrel when it's in the bush and then you put it out of the bush and then it hits really fast?
No. You have a chain of barrels. You blow up the first one in the chain, and then you throw a barrel at the end of the chain before the second one blows up.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so like Gangplank is really, really strong if you can do stuff like that regularly. If you can't, then it's not.
All right. What's your opinion on Cho'Gath? Because I play him a little bit. I know his kit. I can build him, but I don't know how to like pick him in the team comps.
He's strong in certain matchups, weak into others. I mean, just like anything.
So he's a pretty situational one? Because I know Gnar is usually a safe pick because he's ranged and you can farm easily.
Gnar, very safe, but again, look at the patch notes. Gnar got butchered. Like tomorrow when the notes hit, when the new patch hits, he's not going to be a good place. Riot was sick of seeing him every single game in competitive. So check it out. His hyper does less damage, you know, just across the board. Like they gutted its damage by a third. Essentially, like level 1. Level 2, it's not so bad. It's not so bad, but it's like less. And then the cooldown on his hop is higher, you know, early game, so he's less safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's... Yeah. You can still play him. He's still strong. He's just not as strong as he was, okay?
All right.
But yeah, Gnar would be a good one. He is both a damage dealer and a tank. So, I mean, hey, if you want to double down, might as well.
All right.
So let's throw him in there, too. Gnar. But yeah, man, something like this is fine. And I think I copy-pasted into there, but probably the magic damage, top laners, Lissandra is the easiest one out of that list to learn. I would pick her up. Alawai is very strong and nobody buys Executioner's Calling, so like she is just unstoppable if people aren't buying that item. Tryndamere, very good split pusher. Irelia, same kind of thing as Tryndamere, just takes a little longer to scale. So pretty damn good.
All right.
And if you can learn Rumble, like, that's amazing. Singed is like if you're a macro god. Like, I have horrible lane mechanics, but Singed can solo carry games as a top lane tank if you know how to play him. And you can, like, do crazy bullshit, like farm 2 waves in the enemy base with all the towers up.
Proxy farming, I've seen that. But that looked bad because you die so much. I've seen people do that where they let them die and they keep doing it and it's not worth killing them anymore.
Yeah, that used to be a strategy. Now Riot made your deaths worth more gold and people have gotten smarter and they'll let Singed kill them, you know, so that the gold resets on them. There's a bunch of reasons not to. But before it was like you died so much you're worth like 10 gold. And so it's literally not worth the time and energy for the enemy team to chase you down, and while they're chasing you down, you're farming 2 waves of minions, so they get like 10 gold for killing you. You get like 300 to 600 gold from the minions, depending on how many waves you farm, and you've distracted 4 of them while your team got like towers and dragon and baron on the other side of the map because you're in their base. So it's really weird, and if they don't go for you, then they don't have 2 waves of minions pushing, so your waves it was just like such a broken strategy. But you can still do it. It's just you have to like ghost out of there. Or my favorite item to buy on Singed, I just learned about this from a really good Singed player, but Righteous Glory is broken on that champion.
Isn't that only for running toward enemies?
It's for running towards enemies or towers. So with Singed, you just get this big ol' speed boost. It's a 75% boost to your speed. So if you have like 400 movement speed, you just get an extra 300 movement speed. And it's builds out of health and mana. Remember, health on Singed, his passive makes every piece of mana he have give him extra health. and it gives him a bunch of health regen. It's so freaking good on him. So, like, what a lot of people will do is buy that first, get, like, a ZZ Rot second, boots, then get, like, a damage item like Rylai's or something, and then nobody can catch him. It's just so fun. And Gramham is saying Ghost plus Alt plus Deadman's. If you add that into the mix, too, nobody's catching you. If you have a Rylai's, they're chasing you, and they're being slowed by your poison. It's just so freaking annoying. So Singed, if you want to have fun every single game, even if you're losing, pick him. You can solo carry games. Like, he's what I like to play top. And it doesn't really matter what the matchup is. If it's a bad matchup for me, I just proxy farm. Whatever. So, I don't know. I would recommend him, but that's just because that's how I like to play. I like to play the macro game versus the I'm going to kill you. I'd rather kill you, like, slowly over time if my choice is by taking your base.
All right.
At the same time, Rumble insanely strong and can murder people and control the game, too. So, I don't know. Do what you got to do. All right. Feel good on champ pool?
Yeah.
All right. So, decision making was the next thing you wanted to go over. What's up?
Yes.
What are we doing here?
Okay. So usually my decision making for junglers is simple. Like if I'm a Jax, it's dragon's gonna be up, so you go dragon side, farm your red, get the scuttle, gank bot, get red, or war up. That's pretty simple. But when playing Shaco, it seems so much more complicated because there's a lot of pressure to do a lot of things early, and if I don't do the right thing, then I'm gonna fall off.
Remember what we said was homework from our last session?
Yes.
That is where this comes into play. So here, let's see if you've learned some stuff. I'm going to go into your ranked match history. Is the screen share still working, by the way?
Yeah.
So let's do this.
I haven't ranked in a while, to be honest.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. It's good to practice in normals, too. Do you have any Shaco games? Here, let's look at this Shaco game. Just as an example. And you won it, too, which is cool. But
I picked it because I thought it was a good counter for early if you shut them down.
Actually, yeah, it makes sense to me, man. So here, blue team is you, red team is them. How are you guys going to win the game?
We're not a team fight comp, I don't think. So split pushing.
I don't think so either.
Just definitely saying that because whenever you're Shaco, I mean, usually it's a split push comp, unless I'm not really sure. Is there ever a time when it's not a split pushing comp with Shaco?
When you have a pick comp, like think you have like an Ashe AD carry, you have a whole bunch like. Jhin AD carry works too because he can set stuff up with his ult. Bard, like this looks like a pick comp to me, and then you just have a Yasuo and a Kennen kind of ruining it because AOE wants to team fight. Yasuo just does Yasuo things. I hate this champion. It's really hard to make him feel a good comp when there isn't like a knockup comp to engage for him. And you guys, do you have any knockups or displacements?
Nope.
No, so it's like why pick Yasuo? That's just dumb. And yeah, I know he's broken right now because of the bugs, but they just fixed that in the patch notes too. So Yasuo not going to be as strong or picked because people were building him tanky, and it was just really hard to kill him or do anything. So it was just annoying. But now like he has less stuff, and he doesn't get that extra auto attack that was pumping up his win rate a little. But okay, going back to this. Okay, so you're thinking, all right, we're going to want to split push. So what do you need to do to split push?
Dynamic Hydra. Usually I go warriors. And I actually built more of an assassination thing.
I like that because squishy, right?
Yes, I see it, so I want to kill him fast. And I'm not sure why I got Executioner's Calling. Is that even a good pick? I mean, I saw Sona, I guess, but
Sona heals. Nobody else really heals, so I think it's a bad pick in this situation. Usually 2 or more healing champs you pick Executioners for. But I mean, I'm sure you shut down the Sona and her 2 Luden's Echoes.
Yeah, I think I was going for the Ezreal because he would always E away and heal, and he had like just a sliver of health left, so I felt like getting it, but I'm not sure that wasn't even like
he was building lifesteal. It's only an 800 gold item, and like 600 of that gold still gives you AD.
Alright, there's better choices, I think.
It's not bad, there are better choices, I agree with that. Like for split pushing, like maybe if you went like even a ZZ Rot, that might have been better. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that Bard went banner, that'll help you split too. Like, you got a bunch of options. Oh god, there's like a fly in here. I need to get him out of here. That's annoying. But okay, so tell me this. Early game, what do you need to do to set up for your split pushing?
Early game? Well, snowball lanes, get fed.
Well, which lanes? Like, are you snowballing bot? Are you snowballing mid? Snowballing top?
If I can, bot lane, but generally I'm finding myself around mid and top because bot lanes usually ward up well. And
so let me ask you. Okay.
I can still get past it with
this team comp specifically into this team comp specifically. What lanes would be very good to focus on and why? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
Oh,
like you're
just-
speaking generally, but I'm saying this game, I want you to look at your team, I want you to look at their team, and tell me who you want to set behind and what objectives you're trying to take early. And by early, I mean first 10 minutes, first 20 minutes of the game, okay?
All right. Syndra looks like an easy kill. She doesn't have a lot of mobility.
Yeah, so she'd be very easy to kill, but why are you killing her? Who's mid, by the way? Is it Yasuo or the Kennen? By the way, Sneaky Taco, thank you for the host, man. Appreciate it.
I think it's the Yasuo.
Well, let's say it's the Yasuo. I mean, he's
I'm
gonna
not sure.
he's gonna have an easy time against her because, like, if she tries to do her big combo, he can always win wall, right? And just laugh at her, and she'll be sad. But okay, so you're getting the Yasuo ahead. What next? What's the plan? Just get him ahead, and he's gonna carry.
Well, get him ahead and then try to shut down that Mumu because Mumu's really weak before level 6.
But if you think about it, you want to split push, right? So
Uh-huh.
shutting down Syndra and shutting down a Mumu, will that help you split push?
No, all you need is shut down Sion because he has teleport and he's going to be stopping you most of the time.
Maybe you bully the Scion, because like if he builds like this, it's going to be really hard for you to do damage for him. Like, so that's an idea. I like that.
I got like a Last Whisper against him because he's building so much armor.
Last Whisper would be a good idea. Like, maybe you're going to Mortal Reminder, but the Giant Slayer one would be really good for this guy. Also, a little bit of magic resist for the Thornmail, a little bit of lifesteal would be nice. The Ravenous Hydra is your lifesteal, so maybe like a Hex Drinker or something, especially since they have a Syndra and a Sona and a Mumu too, right?
Yeah.
So something like that could be a thought. I don't know about that, though. I don't know if you want to shut down the Scion just because he's going to be the one, dealing with you. Because how do they want to team fight?
They usually... they seem... I want to say they look pokey, but then they have a Mumu.
They're going to poke you down, and then when somebody missteps, a Mumu's going to flash ult, Scion's going to jump in, Sona's going to, flash ult, that kind of thing. And the others are just going to follow up. By the way, you guys, my pet pig Charmander just walked into the room, farted, and just walked out. So I'm enjoying that right now. So if you notice my facial expressions, that's why. But okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, Scion, if you're pulling him away, you're making their team fight weaker. Because who engages if it's not the Scion?
The Mumu.
The Mumu or the Sona, right? If she has her
Yeah.
flash and ult up. Or if you guys are just dumb and walk into her ult.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I think that's fine. But I'm saying, like, early game, what do you want to take to help you split push? And maybe I'm
Well-
being too cryptic and vague, and I can like kind of
Well,
lead you
like-
towards what I'm saying. But
Rift Herald Dragon?
Rift Herald is like the number one most important thing. So when you said gank Scion, I'm like, yes, okay, but why? And you're like, because I don't want him to be strong when I'm fighting him. Well, you're not going to be fighting him earlier, like later on to Shaco. He just shits on you because you literally can't do anything if he builds like this, I'm assuming. Although I'm seeing 5, 13, and 10, so maybe you could and I'm wrong. But yeah, you want the Rift Herald. Who do you want it on?
I want it on me. Because
Yeah,
I'm
you-
split pushing.
You want it on you because you're split pushing. So you're ganking Scion top because you want the Rift Herald. When are you going to gank to get the Rift Herald? 3 minutes? 10 minutes?
Usually I go about like when there's 2 minutes left until it despawns.
That's the thing you can do so you could have it longer. I would argue, no, get it earlier.
Even earlier? All
Why?
right. Because I don't really know.
When is Shaco the strongest?
Oh, well, early, of course, then. That makes sense. But how often will you actually be in isolation fighting another person early? Because usually you're with your teammate after a gank when you push a tower.
Maybe, but remember the isolation only gives you the damage reduction, right?
Well, the thingy that builds it up, I don't think it builds up with teammates nearby.
It does.
It does?
You get just extra damage, which makes your ganks with teammates stronger. And I mean, Shaco's not going to be tanking a whole lot either, so the damage reduction isn't really why you're getting it. And look it up if you don't believe me. But this
Alright.
game, in my masteries, if I were you, I would take this one. Let me pull up my masteries.
Actually, I think you need to refresh your Skype thing.
Fantastical. All right, good. Only 2 crashes today. I'm sad Google didn't work. But Runic Affinity, why would I recommend this if you're going to go for a Rift Herald?
Let me see. Skype. Let me see. Because, actually, I never knew it applied to a Rift Herald.
It applies to Rift Herald, it applies to Baron, it applies to Elder Dragon, it applies to any jungle buff. So if you smite Gromp, 15% longer.
Nice.
So why would this be good for Rift Herald?
Because that'll last longer.
How
If
much
you're-
longer?
15% longer, which is actually Rift Herald's a long buff, so it lasts a good amount longer. I'm not sure how long it lasts though.
3 extra minutes.
All right.
So Rift Herald is normally 20 minutes, 15%. I mean, 20%, 10% of it. Math. 10% of 20 minutes is 2 minutes, right?
Yep.
You know, and then another 5% is another minute, so it lasts for 23 minutes instead of 20. So just take 1 point in here instead of your assassin or whatever.
All right.
As then you get Rift Herald for an extra 3 minutes, and you're trying to end the game by 20 minutes anyway, right?
Yeah.
Got to gold in a day and lost virginity the same day. You know what, guys? I think we should give him some pog champs for that. That's not a bad thing. I'm sorry, the shiny things in the stream are chat are just too shiny. But Fiber Television, man, climbing to gold and also losing his V card. Hopefully it wasn't like unwanted, like you wanted it to happen. But yeah, it sounds like it's a good thing. So yay, that's pretty rad, man. Congrats. All right, sorry, Travis, going back to you, but I think Rift Herald is probably #1 priority in this situation. What else is a big priority to help with split pushing?
Mountain Drakes, Fire Drakes.
Yes, Mountain Drakes, Fire Drakes. Do you care about Wind Drake or Ocean Drake?
Not much, I mean, but the Drakes are nice.
I would say yes, actually. I would say every single dragon is important for a split pushing comp. Can you think about why?
I can imagine Wind Drake would be good for running away.
Wind Dragon will be good for running away and running 2 towers and running away from the enemy team who has a Scion who's running on you, stuff like that, right? It'll be good for dodging poke. Why would Ocean Dragon be really, really good?
Because my team gets poked down, they can just back up and heal back up.
Yeah, exactly. So like while you're off doing that, these guys are trying to 5v5, right? So it'd be really good if Ezreal's poking down, if Syndra's poking down. You know, Scion can poke a little too. He can scream minions into your team. It'd be really good to have those Ocean Dragons so they can survive and buy you time to eat towers. So literally every single dragon is super good if you're going to play Shaco and split push. Like definitely Mountain Dragon's probably better so you can take towers faster. Definitely Infernal Dragon will help so you have more damage to kill them and take towers faster. But the Wind Dragon does help. The Ocean Dragon does help. So this game... it's not really about who you're ganking for, it's about what you're ganking for. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Another thing to think about, if you are split pushing, what does your teammates need to kind of hold off the enemy team?
Disengage and sustain.
Disengage, sustain, what else? What's the enemy team going to try to do?
The enemy team is going to poke them and try to kill them by engage.
How are they going to engage? They have an Amumu and a Scion. What's probably going to happen even if they're under tower?
The Amumu is going to Q in, ult, Scion's going to tank, Amumu's going to tank, and they're all going to kill him.
They're going to get dove, right? So,
Yes.
So how do you stop the enemy team from diving you?
Disengage?
Well, disengage,
CC?
sure. CC, sure. But if you CC this Scion under a tower and he has 50 armor, 60 armor, 100 armor, probably more armor, his thing is a ginormous shield in his kit. You know, even if he dies, whatever, he comes back to life and is still fighting you. Yeah, like it's not going to really matter is what I'm saying. There's something else you need to kind of keep them at bay.
I can't think of it.
What makes it easier to dive?
Health,
Health,
Armor.
sure, but...
armor, and CC.
Simpler than that. Okay, so let's say... Here, let's break it down. Let's say I'm just 1v1ing you mid, and I want to
Yeah.
take your tower. Can I just walk up and right-click the tower?
Minions.
Minions.
Oh, wave clear, wave clear.
Wave clear. Yeah, exactly. So who on your team has wave clear?
Uh,
Does Kennen have wave clear?
I'm not really sure.
He does, but he has to run through everybody with his little static shock thing, and then he...
And yes, who has to get close. He has the AoE, so he might actually be engaged down while he's clearing.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
so I think
like
Yasuo and Kennen are not safe. If Yasuo built like a static shiv, that might help. But these guys aren't going to have very good wave clear. What about Bard? Will he have decent wave clear?
he's a support. I don't think he would.
Ah.
He has his little missile thingy, which
He can use his meeps to kind of wave clear a little. He can use his Q to hit 2 things. But yeah, he's not going to be doing much. What about Jin? Does he have decent wave clear?
he has rapid fire cannons. There's actually good range and damage, but he's not really. He's an AD carry. I mean, he's not. He has the dancing grenade actually.
He
That's
has
great.
Dancing Grenade. He has his thing that fires in a single line over a long distance, which is amazing when minions are coming up in a big
that goes through
conga
all the
line.
minions, too, doesn't it?
His ult goes through all the minions, and people usually don't want to get hit by it. He can set up his traps, which clear waves very quickly. Like, every one of his abilities clears waves. And if he gets, a static shiv instead of this, that also will help, wave clear. So, like, I think this is your answer for wave clear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm thinking Ken and Yasuo, they have to put themselves in, like, the Syndra's engage range, the Sona's engage range. Even the Sion, he can, like, just axe up, and slam down to murder him. Also, Mumu can always flash ult or ult flash, depending on how good your mechanics are onto them. So these guys can't really safely wave clear. Bard, he's ranged, but he doesn't really have enough damage to back it up. So Jhin, you want him to have items so he can actually wave clear. So my plan looking at this game is, okay, I want Rift Herald, I want every dragon, and I want Jhin to be strong.
All right.
Do you see how we came to it?
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right.
So split pushing, you need to get the wave clear person on your team fed. That's generally it.
Yeah. Especially if your team picked really derpy champions like these guys. Not good for a split pushing comp, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, nice. And Graham climbed from silver 5 to gold 2 by getting carried in 3 days. That's not bad. I'll take that too, man. I'm not going to give you a Pog champ for getting carried, though. What does their team want to do, Travis? We kind of talked about it. What do they probably want to do?
Isn't that just the reverse of what I want?
Yeah, they want to team fight and wombo you guys, right? Maybe poke you down a little before, but, Amumu's going to jump in, Sona's going to jump in, Sion's going to jump in, your carriers will be right-clicking, whatever, and doing damage to whatever. So if they want to do that, what do they want to do? Let's say the enemy jungler. Let's say what does a Mumu want to do? What is his plan if he wants to get his team to group up and wombo you to death?
Just farm up, get his ult, and get. I'm not really sure.
I think
when he try to feed the AD carry because that would be tower fasts.
Yeah, he definitely wants the carries fed, sure. But I mean, like, I would argue every game you want your carries fed. Even this game, I mean, we even with the wave clear, who's going to be doing the wave clear? The carry, right? Get them fed. But Mumu, with a wombo combo team, what they want to do is they want to hit their power spike. In this case, when is their big power spike?
6.
Usually. They want to hit level 6. No, in this situation, a Mumu gets his ult, that's his engage. Sion gets his ult, that's his engage. Sona gets her ult, that's her engage. Syndra gets her ult, that's her delete button. Ez gets his ult, that's, whatever. It's something. Not as good as the other 4, but still, they're going to really be strong at 6. So are those ults really good kind of by themselves, or do they want to be together?
Together. Wombo team.
So if they want to be together, what do they need to do to be together?
They need a group.
What do they need to do to group?
Go all in one lane.
They go all in one lane. How do they do that?
By walking to it.
Right. Okay, but the towers are still up in the other lanes, and the enemy team is killing them and taking them and getting more gold than you. Okay, is that still a good plan? You guys are split pushing them to death while that's happening. You're taking 3 towers while they take 1.
Maybe they do it after a kill or after getting their outer tier towers.
Outer tier towers, yeah. Mumu wants to end the laning phase. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Okay, he wants his team to get 6, and then they want to end the laning phase and group up. So that's kind of his plan. And he doesn't really care about the dragons. Although if he gets infernal dragons, that's amazing. The wind dragon will be good for catching people for that big wombo. But ocean dragon doesn't really give a shit about. Mountain dragon, it's good, but it's not going to be incremental to his plan. Or God, I'm just saying words that are close to what I want and not what I want. But it's not going to be if he doesn't get that mountain dragon, he can't win the game. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
All right.
So, for him, it's all about end the laning phase, group up, use our ults, take something, reset farm. When ults are back up, do it again. That's how this team comp should be played. Your team comp is, okay, we want the laning phase to go on as long as possible so I can keep picking people off, because you guys do kind of have a goofy pick comp. You guys are very strong in 1v1 situations, and if you come and make it a 1v2, it's even better. So you want to do that, and then you want to pick someone off, take a tower, and you kind of want to keep that laning phase alive as long as possible, keep that split push pressure going, and you want to use that time to get dragons and Rift Heralds and Barons and stuff like that. Do you see it?
Yes. Your screen again.
And I'm not pointing at anything, but apologies for the screen share. I thought the Google Hangout would solve it, but apparently Google has failed me as well. So I don't know, like you got to get better at this kind of stuff if you want to figure out what to do early. So knowing what our plan is early, knowing what his plan is early, where do you think you should spend your time on the map? Here, let me do this.
Spend my time on the bottom half because I need the drakes and I need my carry fed for the wave clear.
Yeah. What else do you need?
Rift Herald, which is I'm not sure what I should be. I think generally that's mostly bottom half, but Deal Rift Herald, I'm not really sure. Like that's partly top, but mostly bottom.
What do you mean by partly top, mostly bottom? I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, when you're going for Rift Herald, you're not like you don't need to stay top the entire game to get Rift Herald. Like you just need to go get a gank, and then that lane top laner goes back, and then you just take Rift Herald with a pink ward and ward up, and you're good.
Yeah,
But-
and I mean with Shaco, you might be able to take Rift Herald by yourself if you're really, really good, if you have your ult up. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah,
I think if you get really good at keeping your clone alive, like having aggro go between the two of you, you could probably take it. But I don't know. I'd want to practice that in a custom game a few times.
I've tried it at level 8, and it's not possible. It was possible before. It's very difficult. I got down to like a 4 or a third, maybe a half.
Ah,
So between like a third and a half, maybe like 3/5. I don't know.
okay. And your boxes don't scare it.
It doesn't scare it, but it gets aggro by the boxes, so that's more.
So
More
it'll
often.
take like an extra hit or something. Okay.
But your clone automatically like disappears after a certain amount of time, which I've never gotten because I just farmed up and
I got it. So you can't kill it before your clone disappears.
yeah, when your clone disappears, it just crushes you. And if you're like, even if it has like full health, it's still gonna like just disappear.
All right.
So you,
So it sounds like what you want to do. Like here, can you see my screen right now? By the way.
Yep.
Let's say you're the orange J. When does Rift Herald spawn?
spawn. I don't know, but it's never really a problem for being too early.
Well, one of our homeworks was to write down all the spawn times and summoner spells on a sticky note, right? Did you do that?
I got the summoner spells. I did not get the spawn times.
I get the spawn times just so you know. Like when do the little camps respawn? Do you know? Like you take the wolves. When does it respawn?
A minute.
Close, a minute 40. But like here, this will be good to know.
All
Just
right.
Spawn
I'll write it down right now, actually.
spawn timers. So little camps. Yeah, and it sounds like he's going to get a sticky note stream. I'm just gonna give it to you so we don't waste time because I want to talk about like strats for doing other stuff. Okay.
All right.
But little camps are all like 140. What I mean by little camps are the wolves, the chickens, the krugs, and the grump. Okay.
All right.
Scuttle is 3 minutes. Red blue is 5 minutes. Rift Herald. Do you know when it spawns and when it respawns?
Never respawns, and it spawns. Not really sure.
6 minutes it spawns for the first time. Good that it never respawns. That's awesome. Baron spawns at 20 minutes. I think Dragon spawns at like 3 minutes or something. I've never really looked at it. There are certain comps, like if you have a Zyra and a Nunu, you can take it right when it spawns, but generally it's not something you can do in solo queue. But Baron spawns at 20 minutes, and then it respawns every what, 7 minutes, I believe. And then Dragon, it's like every 6 minutes it respawns, so that's important to know. Elder Dragon's like every 8 minutes or 10 minutes or something, right? So, like, again, I need to get a new sticky note and write these down myself, but it's good to know, like, the little camps. It's good to know when the Rift Herald spawns, okay?
All right.
Make sense?
Yes.
So Rift Herald spawns at 6 minutes. What I tell my students if they're going to try to take it, definitely take that mastery that extends the duration of jungle buffs, right? And here, can I show you a cheese play to get Rift Herald at 6 minutes?
Sure.
This has never not worked for me
All right.
in ranked. So what you do is early game, you invade with your team, as 5, and you get wards here and here. Why does this matter?
Well, you can see their jungle pathing and their clear time.
Exactly. So if a Mumu is starting here on red, what does that tell me? Tells me a lot.
Blue is he's going to gank top and mid. He's not going to gank bot. He doesn't even gank early, so he's just going to be his blue will be open.
Amu could gank bot, by the way. If he did this, it would be like a really goofy clear. Maybe he goes to Krugs, Chickens, Scuttle, and then ganks. But if he's going red, it's probably to go up here, and he wants to gank top or mid, exactly like you said. But he could gank bot if he did like Krugs, Chickens, Red, Scuttle, gank bot. Like that's something you could do. It catches people off guard. But yeah, if he's starting here, it definitely tells you he's going to be moving probably this way through the jungle, and that his Krugs and Chickens will probably be up. What else does it tell you? When does red buff respawn? There's a reason I just went over this.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. So when does he take red buff if he starts it? Like let's say he gets a really good leash. When will it probably die? Spawns at a minute 40.
140 and gets good leash, dies in 10 seconds, and
Minute 50, minute 55, something like that.
yeah.
When is it coming back?
Well, 5 minutes pass, so about 7 minutes, 6:55.
About 7 minutes. When does Rift Herald spawn?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay, so if he's going to be down here at 7 minutes, because that's when his red buff's coming. And normally, like when you jungle and you're like, oh, my blue buff's about to be up, where do you run?
Straight to blue.
Straight to blue. So same thing for most junglers. And in Diamond, this has never not happened for me. And low Diamond, mind you, like Diamond 5, Diamond 4. But I have not had anyone, like, not fall for this. So if I know when his red buff is starting from these wards, and here, let's say, like, he starts on red, it's easy, right? You know it's going to be up, like, right around 7. Let's say he starts Krugs. What's his clear on a Mumu? You play a Mumu, right?
Yeah.
So he starts here. What's his next camp?
If I go Krugs, I usually go red.
You go red right after. I would argue you'd want to go Chickens and then red, because you might get cheesed against a Shaco. And if you do this, then your Smite will be back up. But maybe it's a passive jungler that's not going to invade you like a Zac or something. Sure, you can just go straight to red after that, whatever. But, so it's going to be down like, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
So if he's starting here, when is he going to be back at reds?
About 7:20, 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. So just add 30 seconds to it. If he doesn't start here, if he's not on one of these two camps, where is he probably starting?
He's probably starting blue or Gromp.
Okay, so where is he going to be at 7 minutes if he's starting blue?
He's going back to blue.
Yeah, he's going to be back to blue. When is he not going to be right by the Rift Herald?
After his blue or before it. Like, a good time before it.
Yeah, but Rift Herald spawns at 6 minutes, so like good time before, that's not really going to work. But so figure like if he starts blue side, this 7 minutes, 7:30 becomes like an 8:30, something like that, okay?
All right.
The reason this is important is if he is down on his red and you know approximately when his red is going to respawn, where is he not?
He is not topside.
What is topside? The Rift Herald. So the way to think about it, his red is going to spawn around 7 minutes, right? Let's say he's started on it. It's going to spawn at 7 minutes, essentially. What you need to be doing at 6 minutes is being up here, and you're taking the scuttle, and you're ganking top. And you're not trying to kill top. If you kill him, great. But what you're doing is you're trying to shove the wave up, and you're trying to be overly aggressive so that this guy just like is here hugging the tower with a big wave of minions. Why?
So you can take Rift Herald and he's not going to be able to contest it. Well, he could if he wanted to, but he's going to be focusing on farming unless he'll miss a lot of CS.
He is always going to be focusing on farming, and by the way, you're going to put a ward here.
Yes.
Your top laner needs to put a ward here if he's not a complete idiot, and you're going to put a pink ward here. Ideally, say if you're playing Shaco, you box this, just to cover all the things. But ideally, your mid laner will come up here and zone a little, or he'll put like a ward here or something so you can see the other entrances. Because remember, they can come through here, 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 or here. So something like that, right?
Yeah.
So here, let me erase all these squiggles real quick. So what you're doing around 6 minutes, because you know the enemy jungler's most likely going to be down here at 7 minutes, is you're ganking top. And it doesn't matter if it's a bad gank, because your goal is not to kill the top laner. Your goal is to pressure them out of lane, or at least pressure them back to hugging tower. And you want them laughing and spamming their master like, ha ha ha, silly Shaco. You can't gank me. I'm safe under my tower. Because they're not going to leave that tower if they know you're up there, right?
Yep.
So your real motive is while they're up there being dumb and hugging their towers, now you've freed up your top laner to tank Rift Herald for you. And where's the enemy jungler right now?
Red side.
Red side. Where's the top laner?
At hugging tower.
Hugging tower. Who can stop you?
Only the mid laner.
And what should your mid laner be doing if they have a brain?
Following or pushing.
No, just shoving. Just shoving. They are shoving so hard. And if the mid laner roams, they can roam and deal with them. But ideally, if they're shoving and trying to pick a fight with this mid laner, that mid laner is not coming here to murder you. And you have this pinked, so you know it's not warded. If it's warded, maybe you're like a little worried because the jungler might instead be like, wait a second. Wait, should I really be going? Wait a second. You know, he might be doing something like that, maybe. But generally, this won't be warded at 6 minutes because no one expects this. And there's quite a few people that don't even know that Rift Herald exists or how strong it is, especially down in Silver. So,
Yeah, there's not many games where you get Rift Herald. Not often at all. It's like maybe 1 in 10.
you play Shaco. Every game you play Shaco, you should get Rift Herald by 6 minutes. And
All right.
I say by 6 minutes. Try to get it 6-7 minutes, that window. If you do that, your win rate will spike 10%. I'm confident saying that, at least 10%, because it is such a strong buff and it makes you so hard to deal with. So this is a really easy play to set up if you get that vision early and you figure out where the jungler's starting, because you know when he's going to be here, and most junglers are predictable. They're like, oh, my bot buff is up, better go get it. You know, and when he's down there doing that, that means this is unguarded. So you go up here, you shove top, maybe you shove mid too and get them to help you. I mean, that's a thing you could do. I wouldn't recommend it. Top is better. Because, like, I would rather have a tanky top laner trying to kill me than, like, the burst mage mid, right?
Yeah, because I'm squishy and that's terrible.
Exactly.
Even if you're a tank.
Exactly. So the plan is go up here. And normally if you show top and then roam this way, what will the mid lane do anyway? Are they going to overextend? Are they going to just walk into the fog of war?
Back off because they think they're going to get ganked by the top, maybe even jungle too.
Do you see how it's working? Oh, top and jungle just disappeared from top. Time to fight. Time to walk this way into the fog of war. What are most mid laners thinking when that happens?
I'm about to get ganked, going back up.
I'm going to recall, you know?
Just full recall. All right.
Like, that's what happens most of the time when you do this play. So we're setting this up because we know the jungler is going to be bot. And I'm sorry, this is your mid laner. I don't know why I'm making them recall in the enemy base. You know, this M will back up, right? And so this guy is a ward here. Hopefully you have a ward here. If they're not warding for you, you're playing Shaco, put a box here. Put a box here. You're putting one of your trinket wards here. Make sure you save it, and you're buying a pink ward and dropping it here. Make sense?
Yes.
So you figure out when the jungler is going to be bot, and you go top and you set up this play and you take Rift Herald, and now you ignore top for the rest of the game. Generally, I mean, depends on the matchup, depends if you need your top laner fed for wave clear or whatever, but generally that's what you want to do. And maybe your top laner is a split pusher too. Maybe you're doing a 1-3-1 instead of a 1-4. Like if it's a Tryndamere top, maybe you give him the Rift Herald if he's like 3-0 or something. You know, like that's an option as well. But I'm saying like you probably want it on you because you're going to be split pushing, okay?
Yeah.
Now, Oppo QWERTY has a really good point. Wouldn't the jungler go bot and gank there and then go for dragon? Yeah, so what you need to do is tell your bot lane to not be complete dumbasses. The reason you're going for Rift Herald is because you know the enemy jungler's bot, right? So if the enemy jungler has a brain and he hears, oh, Rift Herald just went down, because when you kill it, it is known globally to the entire map that it is down, what is he going to do bot?
Going to go gank it, and he's going to go drag.
He's going to kill them, and he's going to take tower, and he's going to take dragon, because he knows that one of you is low from tanking Rift Herald. So what you need to do is hopefully have your clone and hopefully have, whoever your top laner is, tank the Rift Herald. You take it, and then you make a beeline right here. Because your bot lane will be dumb like 60% of the time and try to fight. Be like, wow, this bot lane is overextending a lot. That's Soda. She's really pushed up far. I wonder what... it's because there's no Mumu coming to murder you. Or whatever the jungler is, and they're just dumb and don't realize that. So you need to tell them, I'm going to take Rift Herald, the jungler's on red, play safe bot. 60% of the time, they won't know how to read and they won't listen. So what you need to do is immediately go bot. If your top laner has teleport, tell him to recall and look bot for a teleport counter gank. That is the one thing that'll completely screw this up. One way to fix it, Oppo QWERTY is saying, why don't you just kill bot and take dragon? If you do that before you go for this play, that's also a possibility. But it's hard to do that, because usually people play pretty safe against a Shaco, okay?
If they're smart. Nobody does that in Silver. Maybe a good mid, but usually they're overextending, and that's great for me.
I'm just saying, that's great for you. So maybe you murder them, you take that tower by, like you were saying, by 6-7 minutes, right? You take dragon. Once you take that, like you said, most people ignore the Rift Herald. Maybe you go for that then and pressure that. But you know for a fact that the enemy jungler is going to be here on his bottom buff, between 7 and 8 minutes, depending on where he started. So that Rift Herald is free. And I would value the Rift Herald on you as split pushing Shaco stronger than one dragon. So it's not that big of a deal if you trade a dragon for the Rift Herald. Ideally, you don't, so you take this and you make a beeline bot. You tell your top laner to recall and be ready to teleport bot, but, it is what it is. If you give up a dragon, that's fine. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's one really strong strategy that I haven't seen anybody else use aside from me. I'm not saying they don't, but I've never had that not work. There was one time where my mid laner was low, like 100 health, and literally dragged a Katarina into us. And I'm like, what are you doing, moron? And we all got murdered, and she got the buff, and then we FF'd at 20, but like it would have worked perfectly. The jungler was bot, the top laner was stuck in lane, so it's like as long as your teammates aren't trolling you, you should be fine.
All right.
What do you think? Is this nonsense? Do you like it?
That makes perfect sense. I'm going to try to do that. And we'll actually, after this lesson, we'll try to just put a game in and do this as jungle.
Do it. It works like if you're playing a Mumu or something too. Just give it to your top laner, and then you can ignore top for the rest of the game, and you can just focus all your aggression bot and mid on your carries. Because if you give the Rift Herald top, like it's 20 minutes where they're essentially up 2 kills and 50 farm because of all the extra stats it gives. And top lane's an island anyway, so they'll get the damage reduction from being alone. Even if they die, they still get the buff. It's so good. It's so good, even if you're playing like a tanky jungler that doesn't really want to use it because you want a team fight, okay? Make sense?
Yes. Perfect sense.
All right, cool. So I would do that. That's how I would secure the Rift Herald. And like if you do that, like every single game you play Shaco, and probably every single game you play any jungler, like the big Achilles heel to that is your bot lane being dumb. But again, if you say, hey, I'm going to get Rift Herald, the jungler's bot, he's going to gank you as soon as I get Rift Herald, play safe. Even if they die, at least they'll listen to your calls next time. He's like, wow, this guy's like Nostradamus, man. He's got a time machine. He can see the future, bro. Like they're gonna be so impressed with your shot calling that maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they. I'm just trying to give you the rosy goodness that's gonna happen when your idiot bot lane overextends and dies after you do this.
What if, like, okay, I'm not sure, like, I'm trying to like sabotage this scenario, but like, what if you just gank top and then you start like pinging Rift Herald and then the other top lane is just staring down the other top lane and you don't really get much of a reaction?
What you want to do before you gank top is be like, hey, I'm coming top because we're going to get Rift Herald, okay? And if the guy tells you, hey, kill yourself, uninstall noob, then shit, maybe you don't do the play. Maybe just, like you said, murder bot and take a dragon instead. Or maybe you murder mid and get your mid laner to tank for you. And you're using your clone, so it's not like they're going to get that low anyway, right?
Yeah, you have clone, you have boxes, the chances are their health's going down like maybe a fourth, maybe, if they're unlucky.
Yeah, so like you have options. If your top laner's being dumb, maybe you can pull the mid laner. But again, you don't want to pull the mid laner if you can pull the top laner because you might pull that scary mid lane burst mage. So, Makes sense?
Yes.
So ideally, you'd get the top lane to do it. And most top laners are pretty like, oh, a Rift Herald. Maybe he's going to give it to me. And then you just step onto the Shaco and start dancing, doing your little worm thing, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. And it's not bad if your top lane takes it. It's just if you're going to be split pushing, you want it. So tell him, me, please, I'm going to split push. Something like that. Okay?
Yeah. And I also need a little more help analyzing team comps because I'll look at a team comp and I'll say, okay, that person does damage. Like, I can only identify carries, and, like, that's pretty much it. Like, this person has carry potential. This person has carry potential.
Let's do some more of these then, okay? Here. And I think the homework was find a friend and just try to do this and argue about it. That's the best way, but, I mean, I don't know if you actually did that.
Do it. I mean, they're like, I try to get my friend to do it, and he's like, I don't care. I'll just play a game.
If you come to the stream chat, you're not the only person with this problem. Like, I would argue 90% plus of the player base has no idea how to do this. A lot of my other students are, like, in the chat right now. Like, we got, like, it says 19 people watching, according to my XSplit. Like, you can find someone that is looking for someone to do this with. And, I mean, like if you're not weirded out by going onto Skype with a complete stranger. Most of the guys I talk to are pretty nice. But like doing an actual league study group, as freaking lame as that sounds, is gonna make you guys skyrocket in ELO and MMR and stuff. Just because doing this and arguing with someone is the best way to learn. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And Prophet, the reason I'm like dropping the spam filter on that is because people ask questions and I like to read them. And so, like, if you guys are putting, like, the boob emojis in there constantly, I can't read the questions, and then, like, the 20 people that watch the stream to get better, their voice is being silenced. So that's the reason I busted out Nightbot. I like the emojis. It's just on my stream I'm trying to, like, help people learn versus, look at your beautiful penis art. All right, going back to you, Travis. Here, let's pick another game. Anything in particular standing out that you want to go over? Like, is there a game that was just like I had no idea what to do?
As the Ezreal, I'm not sure if you can like help me with that one.
This one?
Yeah, the first Ezreal. Like I got put behind because I got a bad Evelyn gank, and it was the bush was warded, I think, and she just walked past it.
Okay. Weird, but okay.
No, like, isn't there? I thought like she couldn't be seen by regular wards or pink wards or something.
She can be seen by pink wards. She can't be seen by regular wards.
Yeah, she just walked past it, so that was not fun.
If it was a pink ward, yeah, that sucks for her, and that's on her.
It was not a pink ward. It was a regular ward, and we thought we were safe because I didn't care about the jungler, and I should have.
Oh, got it. Evelyn though, like, green ward, they can't see her if she's invisible, so not a big deal. So here, you're trying to figure out what to do. They're trying to figure out what to do. So tell me this: what does your team want to do?
Our team. I'm not really sure about our comp. Well, I picked Ezreal because he's usually safe and I don't die a lot, but I die a lot.
And he has a lot of damage too, so he's not bad. I don't really care about Ezreal. Tell me what your team wants to do together as a unit.
Lux has a bit of AoE lockdown. Morgana has lockdown and AoE.
Okay.
Looks like a team comp so far, like team fighting.
Yeah,
but
this I would call a death ball comp. Do you know what I mean by that?
You love carries.
You group as 5, and you find somebody, and as a 5-man ball of death, you run into them. Do you see why I'm saying that? Like who's the engage for your team?
Morgana, Lux.
Morgana, Lux. Who else is the engage?
Well, like could also be Riven and potentially Evelyn with her ult, and I might even be able to do it with a Iceborne Gauntlet.
Like everyone is the engage, actually, as weird as that sounds. Lux and Morgana, both of them can buy the Spooky Ghost support item. I don't know which one of them is mid, probably the Lux, but they can use the Spooky Ghost to catch people out. They can follow up with their snares. Usually you want Evelyn, if they're clumped up, to just drop her ult on their face to start up, then she QQQE, and then W's out at the last second when she's about to die. Well, that's going on. Riven is going to be queuing in and stunning people and jumping on them. Lux is going to be hitting all the buttons on her keyboard. Morgana's going to be hitting all the buttons on her keyboard. You're slowing them, so it's easier for your teammates to land skill shots and damaging them, right?
Yeah.
So your team wants to death ball and group up to do it. Okay, so if your team wants to group up to fight, what do they need to do? What's the plan?
End laning phase.
In laning phase? When are you strong?
Level 6.
Level 6. In laning phase, every time you're also up, you group up, murder someone, take a thing. Take a tower, take a dragon, take a baron, whatever. Rinse and repeat. So cooldown reduction, very important. And you guys want to be grouping. So ending the laning phase and grouping, very, very important. If you guys are by yourself, Master Yi and Fizz are going to murder you. So need to group. What about their team? Do they have any tools to stop you from doing that?
Well, they have...
Maokai support. That's annoying.
Yep. Maokai, because what does he have? I mean...
His ult has AoE damage reduction. He has a bunch of CC.
Alright, because I know he had the slow.
Evelyn doesn't care about the slow. Her W removes slows. Morgana has spell shields. I don't think you care about the slows. Everyone on your team has dashes except for Lux, who's going to be in the back line anyway.
Then I guess, Yi can either go straight into us or just ult and run away. Fizz has the troll pull to run away. Lucian has a dash to run away, and that's pretty much all running. But if they wanted to fight us, I guess they could just try to tank it, and then... Well, they have no one to focus, though, because we all do damage.
Yeah, you all do damage. That's the way the death ball works. So another thing you can do is you can get some split-pushing items. I know you can't really build that on Ezreal, but maybe Morgana gets a Banner of Command. No, they have too many AD. So maybe somebody gets a ZZ Rot. Maybe Evelyn or Morgana gets a ZZ Rot. Maybe, but no, I think you guys just want to group up and catch people out, especially because it's silver and people won't be grouped on the enemy team. Because they won't win a 5v4 against you. Like you said, every last person on your team does damage. So group is 5, catch someone. If you catch multiple people, that's fine. Everybody does AoE damage too, including you of your Iceborne Gauntlet, right?
Yes.
So just group up, in laning phase as quickly as possible, murder them. Rift Herald not important, dragons are probably important. So do that, take towers, end the laning phase, methodically break down their base, break their spirits, make them surrender. Make sense?
Yeah.
Did you see how we figured that out?
Yes. If we had one tank, what would it be then?
Maybe the tank goes in first. I don't know.
Like what would the comp be called? Would there be a certain name or just be?
It could still be a death ball. Maybe it's just a team fighting comp. I don't know. But this is kind of like
Right.
a wombo combo team. Like the death ball could be a wombo combo too. Do you see the wombo?
AOE, AOE, ult,
AoE,
ult.
AoE, AoE, AoE. You have AoE too. Like it's all this stuff that wants to hit at once, right?
Yep.
So I would say wombo combo death ball comp. If it's like a tank, something boring. Like here, what's a boring tank?
Mundo.
Mundo.
Yeah.
So if you had a Mundo, then that's less of a wombo. That becomes more of like a poke comp, and he's just a front line, making it so people can't get to you. And then Lux and Morgana are in the back line, poking them down, trying to catch people. Riven's off in the shadows, waiting to jump in. You're poking people down. You're just trying to like poke down the towers. That's more boring. That'd be a shittier comp. But I mean, yeah, like you got to adapt depending on what's happening, right?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, let's do another one. And I don't know, maybe these guys split up. Maybe Fizz split pushes, Yi split pushes to help deal with that. I don't know. Maybe Maokai builds a ZZ route. Maybe that's what this was turning into. But a whole bunch of things. How about this game?
I don't recall this one.
No worries, this is fine. What does your team want to do? Your team is the red team here. And oh my god, you guys can't see. Let me move it. There we go. What do you think?
All right, just looking at them, they have 2 tanks and 3 high damage.
Mhm.
AOE, decent amount of AOE, CC, heavy CC. It looks like on their team.
Their team, I would argue, high damage Shyvana, high damage Annie, high damage Ashe, high damage Riven. They probably want to do like a catch comp kind of thing because they have Nautilus to engage, Annie to engage, Ashe to engage, Riven to follow up, Shyvana jumps in after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they probably want to group up and do the same kind of death ball thing. Death ball is a very common strategy, by the way. Just group and murder the enemy team. What do you guys want to do?
Carry, tank, carry. I guess 3 carry potential, but I'm not sure how this is where I get lost. I mean, I just see 2 tanks and 3 carries.
2 tanks, 3 carries. That's the same kind of 5-man thing. You have another death ball comp.
All right.
Like a Mumu wombos. This guy can catch someone out, has a bunch of AoE damage. Garen, what kind of damage does he do?
AOE and single target.
AoE and a single target execute. Lux, she has AoE and she can catch someone out with her stuff. Lucian can burst down people in the line. So the way these games are decided, when it's the same kind of comp that just wants to kind of like crash into each other, who do you think wins?
I'm not really sure.
So if you have two forces that are going to crash into each other, which one is usually the one that's going to beat the other?
Well, the bigger one.
The bigger one. Okay, so what determines the size of the crash?
How fed our team is.
How fed your team is. Which team mate specifically, or mates?
The damage dealers.
The damage dealers, the carries. So in this kind of situation, who do you want to get fed?
I want Lucian fed, I want Mel's fed, and I want... Wait.
That's a Lux support, it looks like, right?
Yeah, so...
Garen's probably going to be building tanky, because they have tank line for them. Riven's kind of tanky, too. So I think you want the Malzahar, the Lucian, and the Lux fed.
Yeah.
You probably want a little bit of damage for their tank line, too, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you were going to pick a side of the map to focus on, what would it be?
Bot side, I should say.
Yeah, so I would start up here. I would rotate bot, because you want to get these guys fed, these guys fed. What objectives would be important? Do you give a shit about Rift Herald this game?
I can give it to Garen, maybe.
It's not bad, right? But
yeah, but it's not necessary.
Not necessary. Exactly, okay? So, because everyone's going to be grouping up, and whoever has the stronger grouping wins. And sure, Rift Herald, it's fine, but usually Rift Herald is like a split pushing tool. Or if you're going to prolong laning phase, and you want to give it to Garen so he just wins laning phase against Riven, she can't do anything. That'd be great, too. But, I mean, it depends what you're trying to do. What would be a more important objective to focus on this game?
Drakes.
Yeah, dragon. Every dragon will help you. Makes sense?
Yes. What do you do if mid lane isn't doing well?
What do you do if mid lane isn't doing well? You fix it. Well, first of all, why is mid lane not doing well? It's Malzahar
mid-lane-
versus Annie, right?
Yeah.
He should win that matchup. Do you know why?
Because he has the silences.
He has the silences. Annie can't do anything if the silence is happening. What's up, Wolf? Don't hunt. Also, like his passive blocks CC. So she doesn't damage him, she can't stun him. So if he
It's
waits
actually
for that,
really good counter.
it's going to be really hard for her to kill him if he's playing smart. Now, if he's playing dumb, yeah, I mean, whatever. Also, who has better wave clear, Annie or Malzahar?
Malzahar has really good wave clear.
Yeah, so what good Mal's players do, like here, let me erase the shit on here. But Annie takes time to wave clear because usually she farms with her Q when the stuff is down, so she never runs out of mana. Mal's will just be like, go, Voidlings! And he'll shove the wave. And then he'll either go, if he knows where the jungler is, and farm like the enemy chickens, or he'll farm your chickens. And then he'll come back to lane, and he'll win that way because he'll just get extra farm.
Uh-huh.
So it's really kind of annoying, but...
Well, let's say by a miracle that either of the lanes are failing. Like they were just ganked and one of the lanes is now behind by 1 or 2 kills.
That sucks. You're probably not gonna win when the teams crash into each other, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to play really well and shut down those carries as a tanky jungler.
Do I try to get the bot lane even, or do I just try to feed the mid lane? Like if bot lane failed.
Usually what you want to do is if like one lane is so far behind, you want to get like an imbalance somewhere else. So in this situation, you don't really care about getting Garen fed because his job is to tank and be a front line. So who does that leave?
Mid lane.
Mid lane. That means you need to shit on the enemy Annie and make it so Malzahar is so scary it doesn't matter that the enemy bot lane is fed because he can just delete them.
Alright.
So you got 2 carries. If one fails, the other one is your only hope. Or play carry junglers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one. And again, you got to practice this, and you got to get good at doing it fast because you don't have a lot of time in the pregame champ select time, right?
Right.
So here, let me just pick another random.
What are the different types of comps? I know there's Death Ball, there's Pick, there's
Split push,
Split
the
push.
1-3-1, the 1-4. If you get ZZ Rod and Banner Command, it's like a 1-4.5 sometimes. There's sieging comps. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's like Poke.
Yeah, that's like poke, where you try to like literally be patient and whittle down the enemy team and force them off of objectives. There are really goofy team comps too. Like, have you ever seen fast push comps?
No.
I'm gonna give you a game to watch, and you guys are gonna be thoroughly entertained. Okay? Have you ever heard of a team called Good Game University?
No.
I'm gonna show you the best game I've ever watched. And Heimerdinger Jungle. I'm just searching Good Game University, Heimerdinger Jungle. This is in the NLB Winter Final.
There was like a lot of,
This is like season 2, season 3. When is this? 2013. So this is a game where they ended the game by like 18 minutes with a Heimerdinger Jungle. I want you guys to watch this and learn. But there are a whole different bunch of goofy ways to like win the game.
Put that in Skype.
I'm putting it in Skype.
Alright.
So fast push is interesting. The Chinese teams, they play fast push, which means they push you out of lane and then they take your tower and they play champions that take towers fast. So you're looking at Ziggs, you're looking at Tristanas, you're looking at Jax jungles, stuff like that, right? Anything that likes attack speed and damage, anything that can take towers quickly. So there's a bunch of goofy stuff you can do. There's some stuff that just wants to like play late and farm. Like maybe you have late game carries in every lane and they just play super safe and they have all this disengage. Like think like a Gangplank top, right? He's just gonna sit there and farm even if you're playing something super impressive and get strong. Maybe like a Vayne bot with a Janna, you know, something like that. Like a Ziggs or a Malzahar mid with infinite wave clear. And they're just trying to stall out the game because if it goes on long enough, they're just gonna have more stats than you. There's other stuff, like have you ever heard of Protect the Kog'Maw or like a Jugger Cog kind of cop?
Protect the carry.
Protect the carry, right? Where it's every single person on the team except for the one carry is just there to make the carry better. So you're looking at things like a Nunu jungle, a Lulu mid, you know, stuff like that, a Shen top, like all these champions that have abilities that will make that one carry better and stop them from dying. You know, Janna with support, and then Kog'Maw who can 1v5 if given enough time. So like bunch of goofy weird comps. The game is a strategy game with 130, 140 different champions that all do different things. I mean, there are more than this. I'm just telling you the popular ones, okay?
Alright.
It depends what you want to do. And down in silver, people have no idea what the hell to do. So you kind of have to trick them into like doing your comp and stuff like that. As weird as that sounds.
Alright.
But there are a lot. Those are kind of the main ones. Usually in low elo, it's like whoever groups first wins because the death ball comp is the prevailing thing, and that's what everybody knows how to do. If you try to split push with Shaco, what usually happens?
4v5 death.
They pick a 4v5 and then they blame Shaco for not grouping, even though you don't want to group on that champion. So it's like, idiots, right? But it's just because they don't know any better. So that's why most people don't recommend the Shaco, or they recommend making them rage quit before the team fighting starts, right?
Yeah.
But do you see why?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why champions like a Mumu are fantastic. Because he fits right in with that death ball comp, right?
Yep.
I bet he might even be banned down in Silver. I remember it was him and like Blitzcrank that were banned, stuff like that, right?
He's not permabanned, although.
But every once in a
reasonably you
while,
should.
right?
It's always Blitzcrank. It's 100% of the time a Blitzcrank ban.
It's because nobody knows how to dodge hooks yet. But like Volibear, Heckram, those guys are good with the death ball. Malphite good with the death ball. Rammus good with the death ball. Fiddlesticks good with the death ball. Eve good with the death ball. Jack's good with the death ball. Shaco's kind of the odd man out, you know?
Yeah.
Because every one of these guys has AoE damage that can contribute or can catch or can engage and can start. You know, there's all these
Oh,
things.
your screen.
Oh, apologies. I'm really sad that Google just didn't work. I thought I had a fix. But makes sense?
Yes.
All right, let's do another one. And usually when you pick a Mumu, your teammates will pick things that complement the Amumu. So you'll probably see a lot of death ball comps whenever you pick a Mumu. Probably.
Usually, like, I'll try to ask them, like, hey, let's do a team fighting comp. And they're like, okay, and they'll pick something that has nothing to do with it.
Okay, Nasus. Like this one. But like the Wukong makes sense, the Sivir makes sense, the Braum makes sense, the Nasus is the only thing that doesn't. And he can team fight, he just needs to farm up a little first, right?
So late game.
So mid-game, actually. Nasus is stronger mid-game.
I thought he stacks like really hard.
Yeah,
Really.
but what happens late game? Just
You don't farm a lot, I guess.
you're grouped up, so they're gonna like CC you, they're gonna stun you, and they're gonna not let you get close enough to a tower because everybody has wave clear, and they're just gonna kite you. Like, it's rough. He's better mid game when like the 3v3 skirmishes are happening. If that makes any
Real quick
sense.
Question: what do you do if like you are a siege comp and the enemy team is like such heavy wave clear? Like, is it just a total waste of a team comp then?
Yeah, you lose.
Because I don't feel like there's anything you can do from there unless you just.
What
run, like,
you have to
a
do.
siege.
What you have to do is you have to siege around a different objective. So what's an objective where wave clear doesn't matter?
Dragon Baron.
Dragon Baron. So you have to bait the enemy team into coming out into Dragon and Baron and being in an area where they can't hide under their tower and wave clear minions. They have to be in the jungle, and then they get hit the Nidalee Spears or the Lux Poke or the whatever, you know? So that's one way you can do it. You can create pressure in side lanes so that you... like Banner of Command, ZZ Rot type items, so that there's so much pressure building in the waves, or you can just make big waves happen if you're good at your wave management, so that someone has to split up and the wave clear is separated. But again, if they have like every champion has wave clear, it's just tough. So you kind of have to bait them into being in an area where they can't use that strength, and you just take dragons and barons until you have so much stuff that they can't do anything. Like if you have Baron, do they have an easy or hard time wave clearing?
Very hard time.
Very hard time. So Baron becomes very important when the enemy team has a lot of wave clear, because it makes the minions go Super Saiyan, like that purple Super Saiyan aura that gives them all the extra stats and makes them hard to clear.
Yeah. Screen.
Dude, I don't know what it is. My internet's fine. I'm wondering if my wife's watching Netflix or something.
So weird though. I don't know how that happens.
Did this happen last lesson?
Like not this much. It was like 2 times, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay,
Total.
but I mean, I'm just talking, like, we're not, like,
Yeah.
pointing at the screen or anything.
Mhm.
So, like, this team comp, you know, a Mumu ult, Wukong ult, Sivir ults to speed you guys up, and then does AoE. Braum comes in there, he catches someone, tags him, his ult, like, knocks him up, holds you into the AoE. Nasus' E actually has AoE, and he'll be just, like, hitting whoever is closest. He can slow people so you can catch them. It's another death ball comp. And that's just because that's usually what a Mumu wants.
Enemy team.
Enemy team, Teemo wants to split push, Heckram wants to death ball. This is like a sieging, like disengage, speed up kind of thing. Tristana wants to catch people out. They kind of have like a catch comp with Teemo splitting.
What is catch again?
Catch is like everybody on the team has a lot of, like, if you walk by the wrong bush, you get deleted. You walk by the wrong bush, you get CC'd, and then they have enough damage to delete you before you can respawn. Something like that.
Alright.
Kind of makes sense?
Yep.
So who would be the catch here?
The catch, like the person doing the damage or the person CCing?
Like
Or
if
both?
they
'Cause
if this team was going to catch one of you guys, how would they do it?
I think it would be best using a Vigar, using his E to stun, and then like balling
who-
him up, like, or not balling him up, like caging them and then killing them with everybody else.
So who else on your team can complement that Vagar cage? I think you're right. He's the engage. Who follows up and how?
Tristana can just Timo can blind. Hecarim's actually really good with his ult. He can jump into them and fear them.
Hecarim can alt to fear them into the wall. He can also E to push them into the wall. Tristana can alt to push them into the wall. Jace can hammer time, or whatever that ability is called, to push them into the wall. Timo can be stealthed next to the Veigar, and then whenever he catches someone, Timo unstealths and just starts auto-attacking them and igniting them to death, right? But you have these tools here on these 3 champions that Veigar walls, they're stuck in the wall. These guys can push them into that wall to make sure they get stunned, to make sure Veigar lands all of his damage, okay?
Alright.
Makes sense?
Yes. How do you differentiate between a catch comp and a death ball comp?
Like, you can be both sometimes, too. Like I guess technically this comp could be a catch comp if you only catch one person out of your AoE. It's just, like, better, because, like, Wukong could be hitting how many people with his ult?
At least 5.
At least 5. His E hits 3. A Mumu can literally be hitting everyone on the enemy team. Sivir can literally be hitting everyone on the enemy team with a ricochet or boomerang. So it kind of depends. There are different champions that are better for different kinds of comps. Like, this is a better, like, 5v5 kind of comp. This might be a better, if there's, like, one person who's really fed, this is a good delete them comp and then force a fight when you don't have your star player. You, like, break Kobe's ankles before the big game.
It's so evil.
Right, but that's what they're trying to do, probably. Because, like, look at their team fight. Who do you think wins?
Just team fighting 5v5? That'd be us.
Yeah, you guys. You have the stronger death ball comp. Just because squishy. Hex a little tanky. What the hell's Timo going to do? He built tank, and still he died a whole bunch. I guess 747. That's not bad. But you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you guys will survive longer. You guys have more damage, I'd argue, because single target damage, a lot of single target damage, a little bit of AoE, but mostly single target. Jace mostly single target. Hecarim will be hitting everything. Timo mostly single target. So your tanks are doing a good job. And remember, you have 1, 2, 3, technically 4 of Wukong, although he built damage. It's going to be really hard to take all you guys out, because while they're hitting 1 person, you're hitting 5.
Mm-hmm.
See it?
Yeah. Just more damage all around.
Yeah, like that's probably why you won. I think your team comp is just better. Because I'm seeing some, like, ugly scores on Sivir. I'm seeing a lot of deaths on you, probably because you were engaging first. Nasus was probably ignoring you guys.
I went and I just tried to do as much damage as I could, and I feel like it's kind of, I don't know. If I built more tank, I wouldn't have died, but I would have got so many good, like, overall kills in the fights. Because of Wukong and Nasus. I think they just went and cleaned up.
I think these guys, that's fine as long as your teammates are cleaning up and you're taking objectives after. It's fine if you die. If you're playing a tank and an engage, it's your job to die first. I mean, ideally you don't die at all, but I mean, whatever. If you die first and your carries don't, you'd rather have the Sivir, the Nasus, the Wukong up at the end of the fight than the Amumu to take towers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's fine. And now, ideally, you want your KDA to be a little higher. Because that means, like, you're taking more down with you whenever you engage, every time you die. But, again, it's not bad. It could just be better.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more, then let's call it a night, okay?
All right.
Which game do you want?
Let's go for a lost game.
All right, how about this Amumu lost? Make sense?
Sure.
And you have a goofy build. I like it, but you have a goofy build. I actually like this build a lot. Never mind. All right, so what does your team want to do?
Okay, our team, we have carry, support. Wait, what's Zyra? Zyra support.
Zyra's support.
Carry. And, well, I really consider carry, because does she have carry potential?
She has carry potential. Watch Irelia carries you. There's a reason he has carries you in the name, okay?
Alright.
She's very good.
And then I am tank. I am Sabine. I don't really know. I think we're more pick comp, catch comp.
So this is a catch comp. Why is it a catch comp?
Because we don't have a lot of, like, AoE besides Zyra and me, and that's it.
Oh, Ash W, TFs, cards, but yeah, you're right. I would argue this is a catch comp and a 1-3-1 comp.
Really?
Yeah. Do you see why?
Who else could split?
Who are the split pushers on your team?
Well, I never knew. Twisted Fate can split push because he has his ult up, and I really
and
like
teleport. And Irelia because she has teleport. Also, does Irelia want to fight 5v5?
I actually don't know.
She's like you're learning her. She's a really good duelist, but she excels in these weird skirmishes like 2v3s, 2v2s, 3v3s.
She has her passive, which makes her the CC on her weaker.
That's
like
true.
Shen's taunt or
I mean,
Thresh's hook.
That's true, but think about how she does damage. Is she doing mostly single target or AoE?
Single target usually.
So
Unless
if there are 5 people, how many of them can she be hitting? I know her ult hits multiple,
one
but
at a time.
one at a time. So that's why she likes the smaller targets, that she can jump around. She gets a kill, she jumps to the next one, you know? So 2 or 3 is usually the best for her. So she loves like having like 1 or 2 people come to murder her because she can probably have played well, you know, delete them both. What about Twisted Fate?
He has a stun and he's very high damage. His Q isn't really a team fight thing, but I mean it spreads out, but it's not good for team fights.
It's good for wave clear.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, he's very safe. Enemy teams coming to murder him. He just alts, whatever. And it's on such a short cooldown if he maxes CDR, which is 10% CDR, 10% CDR, 10% CDR. He probably has 10% in his runes. It's going to be up every minute.
And he has teleport too, which
And
is
he has teleport.
strange, but
No.
he has so much presence.
No, that just means he's going to be able to ult bot, teleport back to lane. The mid laner gets nothing.
Oh,
That's amazing. All right.
never knew that.
So you guys need wave clear. Do you guys have pretty good wave clear?
Ash's a little steroid Q. I forgot. I think it's a Q.
Yeah, her Q, not the best wave clear. It's single target, but her W is very good wave clear. Does Zyra have good wave clear?
She has her plants, which are pretty good.
Which are pretty good. If they get close enough, you have decent wave clear, but it puts you in danger. I think Ash could have bought a static ship here if you guys were actually playing the 1-3-1 properly. Because again, more wave clear as you're auto-attacking. So something like that would have been good. You got the little runic echoes, that'll help too. So like you're probably staying with Ash and Zyra and making it so these guys can't dive you. Because if they do, you click R. And then you Q to whoever has tower aggro, so they die to the tower. Something like that, right? While that's going on, TF is split pushing, Irelia is split pushing. If they see that you're getting like super dove because it's still like a 4v3, you know, then they teleport in and clean up, and then they take a tower. That's how I see this one going. Do you see why I'm seeing that?
Yeah.
Another way to think about it, okay, you can say, okay, what are we going to be good at? You can also think, what are we not going to be good at? Would you guys want a 5v5 with this comp?
No.
Why not?
Wait. Well,
I mean, you could.
I mean, I'm not sure. It's not like a massive discrepancy between us, but
They're a little tankier than you, I would argue, with the Shen, with the Thresh.
We just don't have better. I'm not really sure because Rengar, he got a little bit fed early, and if we grouped, our squishies would be deleted.
But remember, like, TF is really good against Rengar. Do you know why?
He has his stun.
He has a stun, but why else is TF TF is a Rengar counter, in my mind. And it's one ability, it's not a stun.
Well, he has a stun, he has a teleport, he has his throwing cards.
Nope.
And
it's his ult. What does his ult do? It lets him teleport, but what else does it do?
oh, it shows True Vision.
It shows where everybody on the map is, regardless of if they're invisible or not. And if he has
Really?
40% CDR, you know, he can use it every minute. You know, every minute or two, depending on what point in the game it is, right?
Huh.
So there we go.
That's actually, I don't know, I never looked at it that way.
So
That's nice.
so sure, like the Rengar can catch people out, but I mean, if TF is just playing well, if you guys are using your wards well, if you guys are grouping up, you know, it doesn't really matter. He also has Zonias, so like Rengar jumps in on him, he just Zonias. It's just kind of cute. There's a bunch of things he can do. Then he can queue up a gold card, stuns him, ults away real quick. There's a bunch of goofy stuff TF can do to outplay. Irelia can just stun him. You know, can build an item like Randuin's and Sterix Gauge, and now he can't kill her. Like there's a bunch of stuff too to counter that. So I wouldn't worry too much about him. Sure, he got fed, but I mean, if you're a tank player, I mean, if you just crowd control him, that doesn't matter if he's building glass cannon. Makes sense? What kind of comp do they probably have?
They have Death Ball. No.
I don't think it's a death ball.
They have a hook, and they have taunt, and they have stuns and catch.
I think it's a catch comp. I think it's they pick somebody off who's by themselves, and then they murder you. I think Shin can split push to split you up, and then if like people get in trouble or you guys get a good catch, he can ult in to join the fun.
How do you I don't know. How do you classify? Like, are there any things that you look for specifically in a catch comp and a death ball comp?
Yeah, well, think about how they would play each comp. Like here, so would this be a good siege comp?
No,
Why not?
because they're not. They don't have fantastic wave clear.
They don't have good wave clear. They kind of have poke, but it's not the best, right? You have to get pretty close to use it. And if that happens, you might be able to just ult. Zyra might be able to engage. Ash can throw an arrow in their face.
Mm-hmm.
So they need wave clear and they need poke, and then they need some kind of disengage. Do they have disengage? Kind of. Threshold, Annie's stun. Thresh can lantern people out if they get caught. So maybe. What are they going to use if they're going to go for a catch?
They could use Annie's stun, Thresh's hook, and Shen's taunt.
Shen's taunt. What else do they have? They have the mother of all catch comp players, champions on their team.
Rengar that deletes everybody.
Rengar. What can Rengar do with Shen that's nice and cute?
He can be ulted.
He can be ulted while he's invisible. You won't see the
while
Shen
he's
ult
invisible?
happening.
I never knew that.
It's called the submarine. You can do it with Twitch. You can do it with usually the way it works. Like if you're playing it optimally, you have a Shen, you have something like a Zilean, you have an invisible champ, like a Rengar, a Shaco. You actually play Shaco, and then you have someone with a bunch of damage. Like there was a video, I liked it on my YouTube. It's in the liked videos list if you guys want to watch it. But it was a Shaco and Orianna duo, and what Orianna would do is she would put her ball on Shaco. He would go invisible, and then he would just walk into the enemy team, and Orianna would click R, and they would pop because she was full damage. And there's not much you can do about that. With Rengar, if he's invisible, Shen can be ulting him while that's happening. If you had that Zilean throws bombs on your head and speeds you up. There's all these little things you can do. And if you have that Orianna ball on top of you too, you're just like literally a submarine. And then when you get too close, you surface and you blow them up. It's super cheesy, but I mean, there's stuff you can do. So think about that on Twitch. How would you even know it was happening to you?
How would you know if you're being ulted, or how would you know that someone's ulting on you?
How would you know that Twitch isn't right next to you, invisible, with a Shen ult coming at you?
Pink Ward, Oracle Scanner. And
Wards from all the engaged spots. Twisted Fate can click R to check for it periodically. A bunch of things. But I'm just saying, like players don't think about this. So this looks like a really good catch comp just because they have that submarine. They have all the CC and hooks to start that off and engage. Lucian, he went the Korean build, so if someone does get caught in a hook, he can just click his Ghost Blade, click his ult, shred all their armor with the Black Cleaver, and then they're dead. So this looks like a catch comp, and then they take towers, and Shin is split pushing to kind of split them up. Your comp looks like a 1-3-1, and you're hoping to just wave clear and not get caught. But that's going to be tough because they have a catch comp. So it's like, But at the same time, you got to have a catch comp of your own. So if they're not grouped up, like if Rengar's trying to do stuff by himself, maybe he runs into an Ash Arrow, Twisted Fate ults, everybody just piles on. I don't know.
So we're a bit countered by their comp since it's a split.
Yeah, like you're
also
choosing to split up with your champion picks. They kind of want you to do that, but at the same time, like you do have a really good 1-3-1, and you counter some of the stuff they're doing because Twisted Fate can deal with the Shin splitting, Irelia can deal with the Shin splitting, and his ult can see the Rengar whenever he tries to do something cute.
And if I was last pick, how would I pick into this comp?
So here, what does your team need? What kind of damage do you have? What does your team need? Here, let's start here. Physical or magical damage?
We have 2 physical and 2 attack damage. So attack damage.
Well, you have 2 physical and 2 magic damage, right?
So is it either or, or is it just attack damage? Because attack damage is better because towers.
Well, you have attack damage and you have magic damage, right? You have AD and you have AP.
Yes.
So I'm saying it's physical or magic damage. What does your team mostly have?
Oh, what do they mostly have? They're balanced.
I'd say you're balanced.
No. Yeah, because I don't know, because Irelia doesn't actually have building much damage besides Triforce.
Irelia needs Triforce, and that's pretty much it. She has plenty of damage just in her kit with Triforce, okay? But she's going to be doing physical damage and tanky. Ash is an AD carry. What kind of damage is she going to be doing?
AD.
Physical damage, right? What is Twisted Fate going to be doing of all his AP items?
Magic. AP.
Magic. What is Zyra's support going to be doing? And she's going to be doing some damage with that Liandry's AP, right?
Yeah.
So you have magic damage, you have physical damage. I'd say you're balanced. Okay, are you tanky or are you squishy as a team?
As a team, we are mostly squishy, besides Irelia.
Yeah, and Irelia is a little bit squishy too. She's not like a 5,000 health tank top. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be like a 3,000 health tank. Shen might have 5,000 health by the end of this game. He probably does. Like Titanic Hydra 450, this 500, that's 1,000 health right there. Another 500, another 500. He's got 2,000 health just from his items to that big old shield. Like, they're hella tanky, even though they look a little squishy, plus his ult, right? Mm-hmm. So compared to Shen, she is not tanky. So I would say squishy damage dealer, squishy damage dealer, squishy damage dealer, squishy damage dealer. Which section of your jungle list are you looking at? The tank or the damage section?
Tank.
So I would pick from here, and I would pick from here. And because you're balanced, I would pick whatever one complements what your team's trying to do better.
So since we're catch and split push, catch would be nice with a Volibear because he can flip and bite.
Uh-huh.
But Hecarim would work too.
Hecarim
No.
would work too. I like a
Ramus-
Mumu as well. He can catch and alt and CC.
Well,
I-
and Malphite because he has the ult.
Malphite could
And-
work too. Like all of these guys would be pretty good picks. Also, I like the ones that can build ZZ Rots because if you have a split push comp, anything that can help your team split better is really, really good. So if they had like double AP on their team, like you're thinking Banner Command, maybe an AP jungler. If they don't, you're thinking like, okay, it's just something that can build ZZ Rot. And you probably want Peel for their team because they have a catch comp of their own, right? Like if Rengar jumps on you and you're playing Volibear and he jumps on your Ashe, what can you do?
I can flip him and bite him and
But-
fear him.
But that's about it, right? And the fear just slows him. It doesn't actually fear him. It only fears minions.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's sad. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the Amumu is actually an amazing pick just because you're keeping the enemy team off your Zyra and Ashe so that they can do damage.
Should I build Cinderhulk instead then? Because
I would have built Cinderhulk instead. I think this does nothing for your team but make you squishier.
All right.
So probably like Rylai's Leandries, something like that, into Cinderhulk. Dorn's Rings first for the mana, for the early clear, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Alright.
again, is this helping? Do you see how we're breaking it
Yeah.
down?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you watch the stream, I try to do this before every game I play, and I pick from my situational 30 junglers, and usually I just pick Sejuani because I'm first pick and I don't know what my team is picking, but still, like, I try to do this, and I'll adjust my build accordingly depending on what our team needs. But, so yeah, this is a really good thing to do, man. I'm saying you can come hang out at the stream and we can work on it there, or you can ask me questions like, hey, what should you have picked if you weren't first pick? And I'm like, oh, I should have picked any other champion because this is a horrible pick because they all counterpicked me, or, whatever. Or get a friend. Ask one of the guys from stream if they want to work on this. I'm sure a few people will want to do it too.
All right.
4, 3, 5, 6, 10 and ponder a bit. Why am I looking at it? I'm kind of curious. Sorry, I'm looking at the Twitch chat. I'm confused. So you feel good, Travis?
Yeah.
Helpful?
Yes.
All right. What do we say for homework? Just work on these champions, probably?
Yeah. Also, when do you stream? Like, when can I watch that?
Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We coach usually for 2 hours. Like right now we're ending, right? It's been 2 hours. Then I usually play until I get tired, so 2 or 3 a.m.
All right.
If you don't have time for that, if you like sleeping, like who does that? But I have all the old streams up, archived, so you can look at past broadcasts too.
Yep. I already slept 5 hours, so I really cut up sleep schedule right now.
I hear you.
So,
I hear you.
yeah.
But I'm just giving you options, my man. Also, there are other streamers that also stream at all times of the day. You can always watch them, and you can just ask people in chat, hey, what kind of comp is this, and argue with them. I don't know if you know this, but people on the internet, they're usually pretty agreeable. They usually just like to just agree with everything you say and buy into it. Just let you do whatever,
Kind of seems like the opposite when you're playing League. Like when you're in the chat, everybody's friendly.
I'm being sarcastic. Everyone on the internet will argue with you. So,
No. Okay. No, because sometimes they're like.
Carolyn, thank you for the follow. I love you. Sorry,
Sorry,
Travis.
Okay, guys. Hey, and I'll see some super nice people, and in the same exact game, there's the spawn of Satan, destroying our own team through words.
Yep. And that's what the mute button is for.
Yes.
I think the statistic is 5% of the player base is toxic, meaning they're that spawn of Satan asshole. But if you think about it, 5% is 1 out of 20 players. How many players are in a game of League?
10. So there's 50% chance that you get a toxic player in a game.
And pretty much it's a 25% chance he's on your team every game.
Oh.
So that's why it feels like the player base is so toxic. It's really not. It's just the toxic people are usually loud douchebags. But again, if you mute them, they're very quiet. So I don't know.
Well, no, sometimes I might just mute someone because they're saying literally nothing useful. So
I would do that too. Sure.
They're just having a conversation with the enemy team and just mute.
Yep. There are some players, some very good challenger players, that will mute their entire team. And they'll tell them ahead of time, hey guys, nothing personal, just going to mute you, I play better,
Yes.
So some
I've
people
noticed
just do
sometimes.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I have to mute all, or else it will not go well.
Got it.
Yep. I don't know. Seems like a good tactic.
All right, man. But for homework, work on these new champs. Find some stuff you like. Do you know how to find their builds and stuff?
Online, Mobile Fire, Solo Mid.
I would actually recommend Lulking, and there's a reason for that. The Mobile Fire Solo Mid, like that stuff's good, but a lot of it's dated. What I like about Lulking is they actually have some pretty hardcore mods, like making sure shit is up to date. Like I have a featured guide for Sejuani, and I had to go through some hoops to make sure it was featured, and they'll yell at me if it's not up to date. And they're like, I'm gonna take it down, you know. But what you can do, like here, who's a jungler you want to learn from tonight?
Volibear.
So I'm gonna type Volibear. I'm gonna click it, and you see all these guides?
Yes.
Don't look at these shitty guides up top. You know what I want you to do is I want you to go to this button here, and I want you to sort by Lulking score. Do you know what that is?
That's pretty much like their elo.
That's pretty much their elo. So this guy has 2,500 elo. It's stale, but it's 2,500. Look at this guy's elo.
2270.
Which one would you rather learn from?
2500.
Let's click him. Oh, look. 2 million people have watched him. He's Diamond 1 this season. He's played no Volibear games this season, though. So, I don't know. Maybe he's a little out of date. So, but you can go through and you can just find all this stuff. And you can sort it from, highest ranked player to lowest ranked player. And generally the people that are ranked higher for reasons. Like they know more stuff. And you can look through. He gives you runes and masteries. This is actually kind of a shitty guide. I'm sad because he doesn't type a lot. Let's see if he has extra stuff. Here, he has ganking guides. That's pretty good. Pros and cons, healing reduction. He's like, oh, these items hurt you. That sucks that they have them. And that's it. And then people are arguing, actually, yeah, Hunter's Talisman is better than Machete in this case. But, I mean, whatever. So maybe this is a bad one. Let's look at one of the other ones. And they're saying Volibear top is the way to go. I don't know about that. Here's another jungle one. And this is from 6.8. Oh, so this is shitty. Maybe Volibear is a bad call, and you need to find a Volibear main like me to ask questions to. Or maybe Mobile Fire is the way to go. But generally, if you go here, the champion guides are pretty up to date. That was just a bad example. Let's look at Eve. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you were right. Let's look at this. She's a little broken right now. So Season 6 In-Depth Eve Guide by Moon, Challenger Season 5, Season 6, 2900 MMR. I want to learn how to play Eve from this guide.
There's only less than 10k views on it.
Less than 10k views. Huh. He has 96 games. It looks like his win percentage is in the 70s. Is that good?
Kinda, yeah, really good.
Is that good against
Fantastic.
Challenger players?
Yeah.
What the fuck, right? Okay, so and look, he actually typed things. So usually Lulking is really, really freaking good. I don't know what was going on with the Volibear stuff. Maybe I need to go write a Volibear guide. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe we should, man. But and look, he has videos on how to leash. Like look at this shit. Oh my god, this is the best possible guide ever. Oh, and what's great about these is if you're in a hurry and, like me and you don't give a shit, you can speed up so you don't have to watch the entire thing. You just watch it at 1.5 speed. You see what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
And he tells you all the situations. Oh, look at these routes. Do this when you want to do that. Oh my god. Full Eve games with commentary. I mean, oh, and look, he has social media. You can go harass him on Twitter if you want. He has a stream. Here, let's see. He might be on right now. I'm actually going to follow this guy. I want to learn how to play Eve from him now.
So I'm watching a stream of a person watching a stream.
Yeah, here. I'm going to follow him. He's got that sub button. He's probably a better player than me. But there we go. Oh, look, he has Eve guides. Plural. What the hell, right? And his last broadcast was 11 hours ago, so he's active too. So here's a literally 3,000 ELO challenger player who plays a lot of Evelynn, and it looks like he's an Eve one trick. So if you want to learn, go watch this guy. He knows more than I do. Makes sense, man?
Yeah, I'll do that to all the champions. Hopefully
Yeah.
I'll get good.
And if you don't find anything, do what you said. Go to, Mobile Fire or whatever. I've just generally found that Lulking has better shit, because they have guys like this, and you can literally sort and search through the filters to find them, okay?
Yeah, it sounds good because you can actually organize my elo before you just look at little, ribbons like Diamond, Challenger, and you just, click on that without a clue.
Yeah, and it's some bronze player that just copied something they read, and it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, why not learn from the guy that literally has a stamp on his head that says he's amazing? And we looked at that one Volibear guide, and it looks like that guy hasn't played a game on him this season. He probably doesn't know what he's talking about, right? So maybe ignore that one. Go down to the next one. If there's nothing there, Google around. There's a whole bunch of other sites. The stream is recommending a bunch of other stuff to you. Pro Builds is pretty good, too, although I think that one costs money. What's up, Jana Blows? Did you get your Amumu figure yet? It's supposed to come in a day or two. Let me know. Gianna blows you on in a limited edition of Mumu figure, you know? Maybe we'll give this away tonight. I don't know. If I hit Diamond 3 tonight, we'll give away Arcade Heckram. How about that, you guys? I think that'll be pretty fun. All right, Travis, sorry. I'm getting distracted by things. Are you good?
I am perfect. Good.
Awesome. Fly Society GG. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome to the stream. If you have more questions before we end, do you have more questions before we end?
Can I just get a recap on all team comp types?
Yeah, there are a lot of them. I was just giving you a few of them, the more popular ones. But
I like the popular ones in like my elo right now, because like silver, just mid silver.
5v5 regular boring team fight. That's like you have tanks in the front, damage in the back, some kind of utility thing in the mid, right? You have Death Ball, which is like the Wombo combo, where you have a big burst of scariness, and then like you got to wait for that cooldown to come back. So think like a Mumu, right? When do you want to fight with a Mumu?
Always when you have your ult.
When you have your ult. When do you not want to fight with a Mumu?
Ult down.
Yeah, he is a Death Ball champion. He wants to fight 5v5 when his ult is up, okay? 5v5 boring team fight will be something like Volibear. You know, his abilities are generally on really short cooldowns, or like a Diana, you know, her abilities on really short cooldowns. It doesn't matter when she fights. She doesn't have to wait long. Like a LeBlanc, you know, she can sit in the back and she has 20-second cooldowns at most on her stuff, right? So there are differences. The Wombo combo stuff is people have these big minute, 2-minute long cooldowns that you got to wait for. Like Sejuani, I would argue, is a very good Death Ball type comp. What else? There's Siege, right?
Yes.
You want to poke people down and away from objectives so you can take them. I mean, I'm not going to type all that out, but just so you get it. Split push, right?
Yeah.
And here you have a few variants. You have like the 1-3-1, and that's just like what lanes you go to. You have a 1-4. You can get the split push items. The new Yorick rework that's coming out. Yorick can actually push 2 lanes at once with his ult, as weird as that is.
Huh.
You know, so there's a bunch of goofy shit you can do, for sure. What else? There are stall comps.
Really?
Yeah, like that's when you just like make it so the enemy team can't do anything. Like Ziggs used to be the perfect stall comp champion. He could wave clear and like 3 lanes at once if he was using his ultimate well and stacking cooldown reduction, because his ult could clear an entire wave of minions by itself, because it did double damage to minions. Now it doesn't, you know. But all these wave clear champions can just like sit in lane and stall out stuff, you know. And on Ziggs, I could buy a Banner of Command, push 1 lane, ult another lane, wave clear with my abilities in 1 lane. I could literally stall out the game and make it so my Vayne, even if she was 0-10, still got 6 items and level 18, right? It doesn't matter then.
Is that just generally just only for late game comps? Like you just have all late game and some stall?
Like why would you stall if you're an early game comp? Like if you have a Shaco on your team, you don't want to pick a stall comp champion, right? You want like early game power so that you can murder the enemy team, or maybe Shaco is a crutch that lets you get to that late game power spike on Vayne or something. You know, it depends. Another thing, like the Jugger Cog kind of comp, the protect the cog maw, you know, protect the carry, let's call it. And that's where everybody's kind of working together to do something. You have more objective-oriented comps. Like there are some comps that are all about, you know, controlling the dragon. So you're thinking like Nunu jungles, Kalista AD carries, stuff like that, right? Maybe another stall comp idea would be the infinitely scaling champions, like Veigar, Nasus, Kindred. You know what I mean?
Thresh.
Scion, Thresh. Although Thresh, sure, he infinitely scales, but he does have like it does like slow down. Nasus, it just keeps going, right? So something like that might be another thing to stall for. But are you seeing that? Like, is this enough? You want more? The fast push comp, that game I linked you, that Good Game University? Guys, watch that game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link it again. It's that good. It is that good. This was like the winter finals back in 2013. Heimerdinger jungle 15-minute, 13-minute, 10-minute inhib. I forget. It was something ridiculous. But they picked a very specific comp to counter the enemy team, and it was amazing. I like cried a little when I watched that game. But fast push, that game I just linked is an example of a fast push comp. You just like win the game before the enemy team can even respond. Kind of makes sense?
Yeah. And one more thing. Just there's like a real myth, like I'm not sure if it's a myth, it's a thing. Everybody's going around that high elo games are really short and low elo games are really long. Because
what do you consider high elo?
High elo, like
I'm in
diamond and above.
I am in the top 0.5% of the player base, according to OP.GG. I'm Diamond 4, right? I'd say that's kind of high elo. Do you want to see what my games look like?
Sure.
Let me show you. I think this is the one. Let me show you this bullshit. I had a gold 1 player in my game, a plat 5 player. I was the highest ranked. I was diamond 4 in this game. This was a 56-minute game where Mian Sejuani had the most damage on my team.
Wow.
That is a myth.
All
Now,
right.
normally, as you climb, the games get shorter because players actually know how to close out games. But at the same time, as the players get better, hopefully the games get better. It's more even, and you can stall and stuff. It also depends what champions you're playing. If I'm playing Singed, the game is not ending in 20 minutes. You know. I'm going to be in your base farming 3 waves, and you're not going to be able to end the game until you deal with me. And I'm going to be laughing for the 5 minutes while you're chasing me, trying to deal with me, right? Here, let me show you another example. I've been playing like 1 or 2 ranked games a night, like on stream. So this is one from a couple nights ago. This was a 44-minute one, where they were literally right-clicking our Nexus right around here, and Gangplank bad-mannered and spammed his mastery mode instead of doing the finishing blow. We killed them all, and then we came back and won. Like 44-minute
Really?
game.
Like he was actually like,
Go watch the stream recap. This is from like Tuesday. It was hilarious. It might not have been the Gangplank. Here's one from last night. And I'm like, God damn it. Why are these? Oh, 28-minute game. Never mind. This is Stomp. So this one was pretty short. I had like a TSM guy on my team who's actually a TSM guy. So that was nice. Although he's a Smash player. He's not a League player. So sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you get the stomps, you just close it out. Like they took like 2 towers, we took a bunch of towers. We had 2 dragons, they had 1. I mean, sometimes it's easier. And I think that one dragon I missed my smite too, which is adorable. I made fun of myself for that. So for the most part, sure, you're right. But there are also games here. Let's look at this one. This was a 48-minute game when I'm playing Sejuani support. Ugh. And look at this throw. We were up like 4k gold and we threw it right back. They actually were up in gold when we won. It's a myth, man. It's a myth.
all right. And similarly, not really similarly, but they said that the skill difference between bronze and platinum is just about as large as the skill gap between diamond and challenger.
I don't really know about that. People say that to get from like gold to diamond, it's the same, or people say from bronze to diamond, it's the same as diamond 5 to diamond 1 or something. I think that's just something people say to like pad their egos. I haven't noticed much of a difference between the player bases I've been climbing. I've been as high as like D2. On one account, I actually hit like D1 the other day. It's a Smurf. I'm not going to tell you. It's my secret one where I try hard on weird champions. But like as I've climbed up, generally what happens is the player base just knows slightly more. But because of the fact that you can pay like $200 and get boosted to master tier, there's also a bunch of shitty players up there. So the skill gap is still all over the place. Like, it's weird. Okay,
You can really get boosted to masters.
if you have the money, like a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but he sold an account that was in master tier for $2,000. You know, like if you boost accounts up there, you can make some money, but you
Now he
actually.
gets to brag about it for $2,000. That's so worth it, man.
But he can't actually say it because if he said it on official channels, you know, Riot will hunt him down and like ban all of his stuff. But I'm saying that for money, people will do things.
That is like so not worth it.
I would not would do it at all because if you tried to play on that account and you were not up there, you would just get shit on and it would not be fun and your teammates would not be nice to you. I do not recommend boosting you guys because everyone is on your team is going to hate you. The enemy team is going to love you, and you are not going to have a good time. And you are going to slowly bleed away that money as you fall down.
People like Tyler Lyle guy who got like banned over and over. He just bought boost and got his account to silver.
That is not
faster.
that is not a good player.
There's that guy because
Uh,
he did like nonstop trolling streams, and he's like, "Oh man, why did you get banned?"
I don't even want to talk about that. Riot has a literal team that every time he tries to play their game just deletes his accounts. So it's like whatever. Ignore that
funny.
guy. But I'm just saying like boosting is not the way, but because it exists and because people do pay for it, I'll have people that have no idea what they're doing in my diamond games and I can tell. Like trust me, diamond players can sniff out the weak link and that's who they gank over and over again. So if you are learning your champion against diamond players, it's not going to be good.
That'll be the next session. You gotta tell me how to sniff out the bad guys.
Oh yeah, I can definitely do that. Here, quick way, right? op.gg, you're playing a game, right? See this multi-search up here?
Yeah.
You can look up your teammates. You can look up the enemy team when the game starts. Actually, here when the game starts, let me go to mine, right? Where am I? I've been looking up a bunch of people. But when the game starts, you click this live game info, and you can see everybody. What I like to do is I click into them, and I see who's on a losing streak. And like even if they're not boosted, that's who I gank if I want to make them rage quit. So if you're playing champions like Shaco or Evelyn, you find the guy that's on a losing streak and is salty. Maybe he had Tyler 1 on his team a whole bunch in a row, and you just completely murder him.
That's so evil. Jesus.
It's evil, but it's effective. Someone was asking that how is psychology important? I think it was Friday who was asking that. It's very important. If you can get inside people's heads and figure out what they're thinking, what they're doing, you know what they're going to do before they do it. You can also influence them. I love this game because it's like poker and six-dimensional chess at the same time. You know, you can bluff people. You can figure out what they're going to do and bully them. You can... Oh, man, I love it. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk forever, and you're trying to go to bed, too, but...
I'm staying up for a lot more because my sleep is like cut up into groups.
Hooray!
I am not a normal person.
Hooray! What's up, Demetrius? What's up, Sneaky Taco? I'm glad you like that guide, too, man. Taco, I don't want to imagine that. All right, Travis, you feel good?
Yep, good. Ready to go try out some new champs.
Nice. Do it, man. Try them out like when you feel comfortable with them mechanically. And like what I recommend when you're doing a new champion, spam 10 co-op versus AI games, figure out your jungle clear, get comfortable with their mechanics, and then that'll let you focus on the strategy and macro decision making that we talk about every lesson, right? So, but make sure you're comfortable on them first. There's no shame in playing co-op versus AI. I play like 3 or 4 of them every single game just to work on mechanics.
I feel bad because what if someone else wants to jungle or someone else wants to do that? Then let them what?
I mean, whatever. Like let them do it. You take half the jungle, they take the other half, and you go across the river for that other half, and let them have the leash. Whatever. You're a good player. You don't need the leash.
All right.
You can do that if 3 people want to jungle. Like, I don't know, work on your Irelia top lane. You can work on Irelia top lane, mid lane, or bot lane, too. It really doesn't matter against the bots. You're still trying to CS and stuff. It doesn't matter what lane you're in. You know? If it's happening in, like, 6 games in a row, someone's like, I need to jungle! Ah! You know, then just go into a custom game. Same thing. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Nope. All good.
Helpful?
Ready to go. Yes.
All right, man. Good luck.
See you there.
Kick some ass. I want you to climb to make me look good, okay?
Yeah. Let's go gold.
All right. Awesome. Get it, man.
See you later.
All right. Bye.